clearly indicates that the Delhi voter has voted for change, decisively voted for change, and brought the BJP back after that long years of being in the opposition. And I think it puts a lot of responsibility on the BJP now, not only being in power now in Delhi, also in the MCD, and also at the center. So now there is no escape route to say that this could not be done or that could not be done, no, because all three levels of government are with you.
Probably that is what the voters want. Probably that is what the voters want.
There is another question. You know, this is also a referendum on Rahul Gandhi's two vote bank, which he was trying to regain, Muslims and Dalit. With the numbers that AAP is getting and with the numbers that BJP is getting, looks like both the vote banks have ditched him. So that also
but they ditched him 10 years ago.
So, but that
they are refusing to come back.
So, no, but Maria, from Maharashtra to, from Haryana to Maharashtra to New Delhi, he has been banking on these two votes. In fact, he started his rally in Selampur for the very first day. We were trying to get the Muslim vote back, but Muslims, I think they have chosen to back either AAP. I would say, giving by the numbers, they have gone with the AAP. And Dalits have gone to BJP.
I think there's an important point being made here, and I would go back to what Supriya said in her intervention. She said, it's not our responsibility alone in Delhi to keep the BJP out of power. But then,
you were the big
in terms of being the third party, what did you do in the city to be able to assert your presence? Okay. Now, a party which was in power 10 years ago, now to struggle to be able to retain one seat, I think has its own story.
And they have done so only in outer Delhi.
Yeah. And also, Maya, that cannot be...
Larger problem there is that probably, I guess, my sense is, Professor Shastri, that, you know, that that kind of holding on or clutching on to a certain vote bank or wanting to say that, you know, this is not alone our responsibility, all are probably negative thoughts.
Absolutely.
Those are not a positive campaign where you are probably pitching for something, a development model that people are looking for. Nonetheless, Maria, this is a historic day. This is epoch making. One fact, as Shastri pointed out, other fact, nearly 3 decades of BJP's Vanvas, of course, ended at the state level. Of course, BJP, the Delhi voters have always been in love with Mr. Modi. Yes. 7 out of 7, 7 out of 7 every time. 7 out of 7, 7 every time. In love with Mr. Modi.
Absolutely.
However,
they've been able to hold the swing voter which was coming to them in the Lok Sabha.
Millennium, 21st century, BJP has been in power out of power in Delhi.
Yes,
so
and purely on governance model.
Yeah, so it was in 90s, 98. So
and it was not a Hindutva polarization.
No, certainly not.
So it was a pro-class polarization.
Exactly. We are not going down that road. You don't have to go down that road. You know, after a quarter of a century almost, more than a quarter of a century, you know.
No, Nikhil,
you can probably go to Gaurav Bhatia, who's...
So if you look at the whole campaign, it was essentially on local issues.
Okay,
governance.
Kamaljeet Sehrawat is also joining us. Delhi BJP MP. Ms. Sehrawat, thank you so much for your time here on NDTV. Of course, okay, we'll try and connect with her. But before that, Ishika, Delhi BJP office, she's joining us, and she has been tracking this election relentlessly, Ishika, almost trailing the Delhi BJP chief, Mr. Sachdeva, on a daily basis.
Like a shadow.
Yes, like a shadow. And how does it look right now? I mean, is the BJP now more or less settled in its head that they are forming the government and hence celebrations must begin?
Well, in fact, currently, Maria, I am at the Delhi BJP office, and let me tell you that it is buzzing since morning. We'll like to show you the visuals directly. You can see that the leaders have already started coming here. You can see that a lot of Karyakartas also gathered here. In fact, just a moment ago, we witnessed that all that sweets also have started coming here. So certainly, BJP looking quite confident today. We are also trying to show you, the screens that have been put up here so that, they can in fact keep a track themselves regarding, the counting that is happening today. So certainly here, we are trying to show you the very, very colorful visuals that, we are witnessing at the Delhi BJP headquarters here. Here, certainly the BJP, they continue to say that all of those, corruption allegation, be it the Sheesh Mahal controversy, be it the other, in fact, the liquor policy scam. Ma'am, you are present here. Is the BJP confident today that, for 27 years, they'll this time be making a comeback?
Absolutely, it's going to be a wonderful comeback, as you can see. And finally, people of Delhi, voters of Delhi can see through this man who has absolutely been a charlatan. And they know him for who he is. He has made so many false promises. He lies more often than not. And so you can see the result of that people can see through him. And something that I predicted many years back, and I ran away from the party when I saw. I was the first one to leave Aam Aadmi Party, the first one to join India Against Corruption, even before it became a party. So I said this 10 years, 9 months back. This is what these people are all about. It's scary what the actual character is like. And now people can see it. You know, you talk about pani half, maaf. जब पानी साफ ही नहीं हो तो आप क्या देंगे लोगों को?
Ma'am, but in your campaign this time, we saw, you took the corruption allegations rather. It was the highlight. The liquor policy scam. Do you think it will turn out to be a defining factor today when the mandate...
Yeah, it is one of the defining factors, but the lack of civic amenities. Like I told you, water became a big issue. The heaps of garbage that you see around became a big issue. I actually went to Sangam Vihar and many JJ cluster areas, and women told me that instead of giving ek sharab ki bottle par ek aur sharab ki bottle, give us milk, give kids milk and another. They would have done better. So definitely sharab and sheesh mahal are huge issues. But the complete lack of amenities that you see is a huge factor.
So as you currently heard here from the BJP leader, they continue to say that, certainly the corruption allegations have been a highlight of their campaign, but they also say that the civic amenities, that the people on the ground are not getting, that will be one of the major reasons that today the Aam Aadmi Party government will be voted out of power. So certainly BJP here quite confident this time that they will be making a comeback. Over to you.
All right, Ishika, thank you so much for joining us. Nikunj, let's start the conversation with Kamaljeet Sehrawat.
Kamaljeet Sehrawat, BJP's MP, that 7 out of 7 score for Mr. Modi. One of them, very erudite lady from the largest constituency of Delhi, Mrs. Kamaljeet Sehrawat. Welcome to NDTV.
Thank you.
And what are your initial thoughts, ma'am? क्या लग रहा है, कैसा लग रहा है आपको जैसे नंबर और आंकड़े दिखाई दे रहे हैं? What are you thinking? What are your initial thoughts in your mind right now?
दिल्ली के जो हालात थे उसमें ये नंबर कोई सरप्राइजिंग नहीं है, क्योंकि जो ज़मीन पे अगर आप कभी भी गए होंगे, जो हालात राजधानी दिल्ली के इन्होंने बना दिए थे, पानी की हालात ये कि अगर हम टैप में जाएं तो पानी आ नहीं रहा, गंदा आ रहा है, और अगर भगवान थोड़ा सा पानी दे दे तो जल भराव की ये सिचुएशन थी, हर तरफ वाटर लॉगिंग हो रही थी। दिल्ली को बेसिक फैसिलिटीज़ के लिए भी तरसना पड़ गया। इससे भी बुरी बात ये रही कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने पूरे देश के लिए आयुष्मान कार्ड दिया, जो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने दिल्ली में लागू नहीं होने दिया। अपने मोहल्ला क्लिनिक की दुहाई देते रहे। दिल्ली की जनता को लगा कि खुद तो कुछ करना ही नहीं है, अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी भी अगर करना चाह रहे हैं तो ये उनको रोक रहे हैं। तो सबसे पहले तो दिल्ली ने डेवलपमेंट और सोशल वेलफेयर पे इनको फेल किया। तीसरी बात, जो दिल्ली के अंदर इनकी ईमानदार की छवि लेकर ये आए थे, वो छवि ऐसी तार हुई, क्योंकि जहां देखो शिल्ट निकालने के मामले में इनका पूरा एक एसीबी की जांच चल रही है कि 80 करोड़ रुपए इन्होंने नालों की सफाई पे लगाए, जबकि नाले यूं के यूं भरे हुए हैं। तो तीनों तरह से दिल्ली को पीछे पहुंचाने में, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के विजन के हिसाब से दिल्ली को कोई काम ना करने देने के लिए, और करप्शन, ये तीनों ही मुद्दे दिल्ली की जनता समझ चुकी थी। मुझे नहीं पता कि कैसे मीडिया टीम या आम आदमी पार्टी के लोग इसको जज नहीं कर पा रहे थे, लेकिन मेरी आपसे पहले भी बात हुई, मैंने तब भी आपको बताया था कि दिल्ली में इस बार पूरे बहुमत से आएगी, क्योंकि दिल्ली की जनता विकास चाहती है, दिल्ली की जनता सोशल वेलफेयर चाहती है, लेकिन डेवलपमेंट भी उसका इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है। और सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट बात ये रही कि देश के पीएम ने जो इतना बड़ा देश है उसको 11वें नंबर से 5वें नंबर पर पहुंचा दिया। सोशल वेलफेयर स्कीम, चाहे वो अन्न के लिए हो, शौचालय के लिए हो, उज्ज्वला के लिए हो, आयुष्मान भारत हो, किसान सम्मान निधि हो, दोनों को बराबर साइमल्टेनियसली लेकर वो चले, और दिल्ली दोनों में फेल हो गई। तो ये जो रिजल्ट आया है ये अनएक्सपेक्टेड नहीं है, ये ही एक्सपेक्टेड था। जो आदमी जमीन पर गया है पिछले 6 महीने में, उसने इसको सेंस किया है, उसने इसको जज किया है, और इसीलिए मेरा डे 1 से था।
जी, आप रिप्रेजेंट करती हैं, उसका मैं जूही को बोलूंगी वो मैप अप करे। इस पिक्चर को देखिए मैम, 11 सीटें हैं, 8 सीट पर भाजपा लीड कर रही है, आम आदमी पार्टी 3 पर लीड कर रही है, -8 है। यहाँ पर यह भी साफ तौर पे ये दिख रहा है कि जो प्रॉमिस था आप लोगों का कि व्हाट प्राइम मिनिस्टर हिमसेल्फ सेड कि जो स्कीम्स हैं वो कंटिन्यू करेंगी और उसके ऊपर टॉपअप होगा, तो आप लोगों को एक क्या फियर था अगर वो जो बार बार अरविंद केजरीवाल बोल रहे थे कि शायद भाजपा आएगी तो स्कीम्स रुक जाएंगी, वो नहीं हुआ?
हमारे चीज़ में सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट बात है कि किसी भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट या सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को सोशल वेलफेयर स्कीम देना मैंडेटरी उसका ऑब्लिगेशन है, उसको करना ही चाहिए और वही प्रधानमंत्री जी कर रहे थे। आयुष्मान भारत अगर मैं आपसे बात करूं पूरे भारत में लागू है, दिल्ली में अगर लागू नहीं हुई तो कितनी तकलीफ दिल्ली वालों को थी। प्रधानमंत्री अंशश्री योजना, एक राशन कार्ड पे जो अन्न मिलना चाहिए, दिल्ली के 90,000 राशन कार्ड का कोटा खाली पड़ा रहा, इन्होंने 10 साल में वो दिया नहीं। बुजुर्गों की पेंशन 2015 से लगाई नहीं। और स्कूलों की अगर आप हालत देखें तो दिल्ली के अंदर 1034 स्कूल हैं, 1034। आउट ऑफ दिस सिर्फ 340 के अंदर साइंस है, सिर्फ 700 के अंदर प्रिंसिपल है। तो कोई एक पैरामीटर, चाहे वो डेवलपमेंट का था या वो सोशल वेलफेयर का था, केजरीवाल हर पैरामीटर पर फेल रहे।
कमलजीत जी,
बल्कि इन्होंने वो किया जो दिल्ली एक्सपेक्ट नहीं कर रही थी।
कमलजीत जी, ये तो हुआ पास्ट और आपका कैंपेन। दिस इज योर पास्ट, दिस इज द पास्ट फैक्टर फिगर्स एंड योर कैंपेन पिच. Now, what the Delhi obviously is looking for is a change and a massive change. You live in Delhi, I live in Delhi, most of us live in Delhi. Yes. We all know that the situation on the ground is something that not only the voters of Delhi, but people who come to the city, people who come to this great city from outside, diplomatic corps, many others want to change. Now, how are you going to bring in that, foster in that change is the key question, Kamaljeet ji.
दिल्ली को कैपिटल बनाने के लिए एक बहुत बड़े चेंज की रिक्वायरमेंट है। इस बात की जिम्मेवारी को हम ओन करते हैं और दिल्ली की जनता ने जो हमें वोट दिया है, मैं आपके माध्यम से दिल्ली की जनता को कहना चाहती हूँ कि आपको 6 महीने के अंदर ड्रास्टिक चेंज नजर आएंगे और आपको जैसे जैसे दिन बीतेंगे अपनी वोट के ऊपर आपको गर्व महसूस होगा कि हमने सही वोट दिया है। ये हमारी कमिटमेंट है और हम इसको करके दिखाएंगे।
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us early morning on NDTV. It's 10:11 and we can tell our viewers that it's consolidating for the BJP. Of course, it would be around 3 or 4 rounds of counting which would be over. 8 a.m. is when counting began. How is the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters looking at the moment? Anushka is joining us live from there. Anushka, what can you tell us?
Well, certainly, Maria will like to show you the visuals from here directly. First, we can clearly see that the stage is set, but all the chairs are empty. There is an absence of action here, lots and lots of people, and we can also see a very tense environment because what the initial trends is showing is that the BJP is leading, but also we are showing you the visuals here. Most of the Karyakartas here had in fact started sloganeering, but also we saw that the excitement is somewhere, now looking like people are now getting tense over here. We also did manage to talk to 2 of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders, that is Jasmine Shah and Anurag Dhanda. They said that this time it was the toughest battle here in Delhi because Aam Aadmi Party was not just fighting against, contesting against 2 parties, 2 major political parties, but also the Aam Aadmi Party was fighting against a corrupt system. Now, we are also looking that they have said, and in fact also they exuded quite confidence and have said that Aam Aadmi Party will win by comfortable margins. But what we are seeing here is that people are quite tense because of the initial trends that is showing that BJP is leading. But this is an initial picture, and we are showing you the visuals also from the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. There are people huddled here. The chairs are empty, but also the screen is set here for the people. Also, we are showing you the visuals also from the Aam Aadmi Party. But certainly we can see that the Aam Aadmi Party had a quite tumultuous term this time around. Several of the senior leaders were facing corruption charges. Also, when we saw the campaigning, when it did happen, it was quite intense and sometimes hostile also. But also, we see big showdown happening between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. What we are seeing, what we are looking at the initial trends, this looks like a battle between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP solely. Congress was fighting for a resurgence insurgents. But we are seeing that right now the odds are not in Congress's favor. We're also seeing BJP, who is about to make a historic comeback according to the initial trends. BJP is set to make a comeback after 27 years. But also Aam Aadmi Party is saying that they had to fight against the whole corrupt system, be it EC, be it ED, be it CBI. Everybody was after Aam Aadmi Party, and that is why this was quite a tough year for Aam Aadmi Party. Now, people are also banking on the fact, and what the Aam Aadmi Party leaders are saying is that people will vote for development, and that means Kejriwal will come back in power.
Okay, Anushka, hold on to your thoughts. 10:15, and welcome to this broadcast, Sajjan and Rashid here in the studio. We are looking at Congress at zero now. I mean,
That was expected.
they're not even opening their account.
We thought they're improving their tally. I told the
least they
desk,
get one
I
seat.
thought they were improving their tally.
I mean, no voter wants to waste his or her vote. You know, that is the basic fundamental psychology.
But you can't go down to zero.
No, I mean, you can't go down from zero.
From zero. That is what I'm saying. So it was a very confusing and I would say a self-harm strategy on the part of Congress to have gone for this. As
That's the correct
Umar
word,
Abdullah,
actually, self-harm strategy.
Absolutely, as Umar Abdullah has said, all
Tweeted something.
So basically, it's Umar Abdullah is directing his anger or frustration at the Congress party. Because this was not a very well thought out. If Aam Aadmi Party was bad, then why did you fight with them in the Lok Sabha election? So either 6 months ago, they thought that he's not corrupt, or after 6 months later, you are saying he's corrupt. So therefore, there was a conflicting signals. And I think Rahul Gandhi was misled. Perhaps Mallikarjun.
How long will we continue to say Mr. Gandhi was misled, Mr. Gandhi was misled? How long will
it happens in all political parties?
Man as the leader
it happens
of the
in
party.
all political parties, particularly.
No, but sir, Mr. Kejriwal, please tell me one thing. I have a question to ask you. You have been a long-term watcher. I just wish to ask you one question. You have been a long-term watcher. How long will we continue, or a kind of narrative or a kind of thought, or some observers will continue to peddle this line that the leadership has been misled? I mean, how long, for Christ's sake? I mean, the leadership has to take charge. How long as the leader I can be misled?
No, that was not a thing. It was for Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge to have asserted. He's a Congress president. He could have gone public. What I'm saying is, look at Naveen Patnaik. He was also misled by a bureaucrat. So there is, being misled.
No, but he has been misled once.
Yeah, but very costly. You're a regional party. You're misled once. You're gone.
No, but he ran a government for 4 terms, 5 terms, and then they lost power, which is quite natural in a democracy. Look, my point is that leadership of a political party or a news channel or a FMCG product or a newspaper has to take charge of their product.
My friend, political strategies are not foolproof. When the Congress fought, unitedly, and Sajjan would vouch for that, the Congress got 37 seats more in Lok Sabha because of alliances. If there was no alliance, Congress tally would have been similar to 14 and 19. I'm saying, and this is the gamble. This is what maybe.
And what happened after Lok Sabha? Washout after.
It takes 2 to tango. Then you can say what was Aam Aadmi Party doing in Haryana?
Let's move on. Let's get in the guests who are joining us at this hour. Mohan Kumar Mangalam of the Congress Party is with us. We have Tom Vadakkan of the BJP and Sunny Ahluwalia of the Aam Aadmi Party. Zainab as well joining us this morning. Zainab, first to you. When we look at these numbers, it's clearly that the BJP is all set to come to power in Delhi. Lots being talked about how did they get their strategy right in the absence of a dominant face, because repeatedly Aam Aadmi Party kept on building this narrative, it's Kejriwal versus who. And somehow they maneuvered and did not really engage with Aam Aadmi Party on that issue.
So Maria, I was with you on 5th of Feb, on a show. Mohanji was there, Rashidji was there, and I had in that debate also said that this is the weakest election Aam Aadmi Party has fought, and it is advantage me. And I didn't know that it will be such a big advantage. I mean, the numbers are very telling. It's a big comeback for BJP after 27 years. And it shows that what for them. Reality of the matter is that BJP caught the pulse of people. They understood.
Connect with Zainab in just a bit as well and fix our network. But Mohan Kumar Mangalam of the Congress Party, Nikunj, you have a question for him.
Well, yes, the same question that I was discussing with Mr. Kejriwal here. Mr. Kumar Mangalam, the fact of the matter is that how long can this be said that the Congress Party's leadership was misled and that the result is not a result of the Congress Party's leadership's thought, but it went wrong and in multiple directions because there were multiple pressures, and that's why we could not come to a cogent way forward. How long can that be said?
So I don't agree with Mr. Kidwai on his assessment of the Congress party leadership being misled. I think what the Congress party is looking for in this election is to start rebuilding. And if we end up with, let's say, the same vote share as we got last time, then I would consider that a defeat. We'll only know that at the end of the day when polling is over. I'm hoping we'll get to double-digit vote share. And this election serves as a good fillip for us to start rebuilding a party where we ruled Delhi for 15 years and quite well, frankly, until the Aam Aadmi Party actually unseated us. And most of the Aam Aadmi Party's vote bank actually is the traditional Congress vote bank. I come from a state where we lost power in '67, the state of Tamil Nadu. And via alliances for the last almost 60 years now, we have never been able to regain our base back. We've only been on the margins via the alliance, enjoying maybe 2 or 4 or 5 MP seats or some MLA, double digit in MLA seats.
Can you please
but that has never let us, that's never let us actually come back to power. And this will not happen until the Congress party takes a clear call, which I think I'm glad we have in this election, to start rebuilding from base. So I would be happy if the BJP wins this election. For me, it's more important that
BJP
we
now.
actually
Tom Vadakan
would be happy if BJP wins. I mean,
Tom Vadakan of the BJP is joining us.
Yes.
Tom Vadakan, the question certainly is that BJP seems to have got it right. What do you think worked for the party? Do you think it was about the 1st February budget that was the turning point, or was it Prime Minister Modi's public rally where he said वो सब रहेगा जो freebies है वो continue रहेंगी उसके ऊपर से भाजपा देगी?
And also the unending and enduring appeal, particularly with Delhi voter. Let's not forget, it's always a 7 out of 7 for Mr. Modi.
That's right.
Always 7 out of 7. So that is looks like an unending and enduring appeal of Mr. Modi in the city with the urban voter. That you can't, dismiss. There was the change of gears that used to happen hasn't happened this time. That's it.
Well, the fact of the matter is, first, we have to begin with thanking our voters who have supported us. This is the mandate of the people of Delhi, who have suffered for 10 years. Civic amenities, we all live in Delhi, pollution, your water situation. And there are 37 water filtration centers, out of which only 17 were functional. And they made the charge that, well, Haryana was poisoning Delhi water. What a charge. You want to win elections or you want to kill people? Now, these are all things that people of Delhi will never forget. Prime Minister has led this party from the front. This is indeed a referendum, not only for the Congress, against the Congress party, against ABDA, and also the India Alliance. The fact of the matter is, Prime Minister Modi's guarantees are holding. We have delivered, and that delivery is the promise that we made to Delhi, and we will keep it. The point here is, it is time that ABDA realizes and does some retrospection of what they have done and what they have led Delhi into. A big hillock all over Delhi of garbage. Have you ever seen any capital city, whether the state capitals, in this condition? They have been corrupt. They have built, when the COVID was on, they had built their Sheesh Mahal, and it's now going to be a museum. So these are factors that have led to a situation where people of Delhi have believed in Prime Minister Modi's promises and his leadership, and he will guide us through. And I'm sure this double-engine government will work and will deliver miracles to the people of Delhi.
Tom Vadakan, thank you so much. Continue to be with us, and thank you for that quick analysis of how the BJP is looking at these numbers, even as we look at 10:30 a.m. now, numbers consolidating for the BJP. It's looking at a capital comeback. Sajjan, come in now. Amit Shah, while I was interviewing him, has famously said that चुनाव स्पष्टता से लड़ा जाता है, which is essentially clarity से लड़ा जाता है, and चुनाव का लक्ष्य जीत होता है. That the ultimate aim of an election is victory. BJP seemed to have got all its strategy right. Right from, starting a negative campaign, relentlessly countering Arvind Kejriwal, to 1st of February appeal through the tax relief, and then Prime Minister's own speech, the opening speech, where he said all the reliefs will be continuing and then more will be coming your way.
Yes, I mean, but we should remember that in 2020 also, BJP fought the assembly election quite spiritedly, and Amit Shah was leading from the front. But that time, brand Kejriwal and brand Aam Aadmi Party, that still was a potent brand. Now in 2025, what worked in favor of BJP primarily, Prime Minister Modi's image and BJP's strategy, organizational strength, everything works when you have a sort of a ground situation of anti-incumbency working against the incumbent. So that is why I think this time also.
Well, that may not be that may not be right. You see, look, the brand AAP and Mr. Kejriwal is dented, but to say that the strategy of the opponent. See, the BJP, when it comes to elections, is a formidable foe.
Exactly.
It's a formidable foe.
It is.
That is the job of a formidable foe, that you will make your strategy work irrespective of the strength of the party.
And the shift.
And in some cases, your foe may also be a formidable foe, but you are overpowering that foe.
See, one of the distinction is that Aam Aadmi Party is not Congress. If you see the character of Aam Aadmi Party, it's quite a cadre-based party in a different way. They are quite committed, passionate, and have a ground reach. But what changed in BJP compared to 2020 was that in 2020 they had a pan-Delhi narrative, But this time they made it quite, granular. Micromanagement, and this is a shift post Lok Sabha election. If you see, now it is BJP which is contesting assembly elections quite on a local issue, be it Haryana, seat by seat.
That is why I feel what Sajjan is saying. See, the BJP has cracked that code called, how to win elections. Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. It's all pragmatic, practical approach and lots of heads-on.
But that's always the case, isn't it?
No, always the case. But BJP always had the optimum vote percentage in Delhi Assembly.
Yes, which was
now
around
they are taking it to over. You see, what is the difference? It's not Aam Aadmi Party is getting wiped out. It's not like Maharashtra verdict or anything. You see, why BJP is being more successful? Because it is coming closer to its Lok Sabha vote share.
Exactly.
And Aam Aadmi Party 42-43% vote share is huge. And
absolutely, and that's what I'm saying. That when it comes to elections, BJP is a formidable force.
Absolutely.
That's what I've said.
And anti-incumbency is, it's just being chipped in. So if it is this kind of tally, 42-28, in 28 seats, it's not losers argument, but it is not that the Aam Aadmi Party is getting wiped out.
Oh, that's not nobody's case. That's nobody's case.
Absolutely.
Well.
So as Sajjan is saying, it's a well-fought election, but BJP had an advantage of projecting something that, you see, regardless whatever you do for Aam Aadmi Party, they are not able to function because by law they cannot give you anything.
But
so it is the Lieutenant Governor's
I'll just add one point. That advantage Congress Party also had in Haryana. BJP was ruling for 10 years,
Nikunj, here I am referring to what Arun Jaitley used to say, the tyranny of the unelected. So here you have a
tyranny of the unelected.
Yes.
And do you think that also played out? Because
Absolutely.
Arvind Kejriwal made that announcement of 2,100 rupees for women without ensuring that it is delivered in their account. Which was in complete contrast to what the BJP did in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
When they are in power, they ensured that Ladki Behan goes directly into the account for the first 3 to 6 months.
You said it, Maria, and more so, the Delhi government gave front page added to the advertisement saying that it's not. Then the BJP took U-turn saying that no, we'll give it this. So I'm saying there is a lot of the real politics, all the Devri culture and all you're saying. It is not, this is not to malign the BJP because of it's their victory day. But what they have done is, they have perfected, the art of the possible.
Art of the possible, and despite not projecting a face, so it's also primarily an anti-incumbency vote.
Absolutely.
Because BJP...
That's difficult to digest, but let's see how it plays out. That's difficult to digest because look, the fact of the matter is that why did that anti-incumbency vote not work against the BJP in Haryana or in other places where they are in power?
Because it had Congress. When it's Congress knows how to lose an election.
Well, many can say that we are picking out our favorite pieces of the argument. Let me go to my reporters, very dear to my heart. As always, both Tanushka and Ghazali standing by at the most active places right now. The heart, that's where the heart is beating at the election counting center. Tanushka, coming to you first, describe for us what's going on, how many rounds are complete, how many votes have been tallied, who leads, and how many seats are being counted at your counting center.
Well, yes, I'm currently at the Gold Market counting center for the New Delhi constituency, wherein round 4 has been completed. So 4 rounds have been completed of voting here, wherein, and also, of course, this is a very important seat which is facing this contest between 3 very, top guns. Arvind Kejriwal, former Chief Minister of Delhi, who is taking the lead at this point in, round 4 of the counting. He has taken the lead by 7,949 votes, and he is ahead of 223 votes by his competition here, Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma from the BJP, and he's also, of course, a very strong contender in this seat. And we also have Sandeep Dixit in the fray from the Congress. However, he's trailing behind both Arvind Kejriwal and Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma. There are, some BJP party workers here. I'm showing you the visuals. They've gathered here. Why? Because the RK Puram candidate from here, Anil Kumar Sharma, is in the lead as well from the RK Puram seat. Other than that, what we also know is that this counting center is also counting the votes of the Greater Kailash constituency, wherein the Aam Aadmi Party candidate Saurabh Bhardwaj is trailing, and Shikha Rai, BJP's candidate, is in the lead. Shikha Rai is in the lead by 2,583 votes, and Saurabh Bhardwaj is trailing by the same number of votes. The total share that Saurabh Bhardwaj right now has is that of 8,792. However, what's very important from this seat that I'm bringing you is that Kejriwal is still in the lead even in round 4. So it'll be really interesting to see. It's neck to neck right now between Aam Aadmi Party National Convener Arvind Kejriwal and Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma from the BJP. As it has always been, even in the campaign days, it's been very neck to neck between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. Back to
you may actually be reporting out for what can be the what could have actually been the chief ministerial contest, and what can still turn out to be the chief minister's seat. So you are actually at the nerve center, actually at the hottest place right now in the national capital. Keep your eyes firmly glued on. Keep updating every small bit of information that you get. Continuously supply that information to the desk. And
for the moment, let's cut across to Ghazali, who's speaking to Alka Lamba.
निकला और ये साइलेंट रहा. इसका अभी तक ईवीएम खुलने तक कोई पार्टी कुछ नहीं कह पा रही कि क्या रहेगा. अब ईवीएम जैसे ही खुलेगा तो कालका जी बोलेगा.
तो कालका जी बोलेगा, क्या बोलेगा? आपको क्या लग रहा है? क्योंकि कई आरोप ये लग रहे हैं कि शायद कांग्रेस इतना एक्टिव हो रही है तो बीजेपी को इसका फायदा
नहीं. देखिए, कांग्रेस दिल्ली के मुद्दों पर एक्टिव हुई थी और दिल्ली के मुद्दों पर हम लड़े हैं. जिसने मेरी दिल्ली बर्बाद की है उसकी बर्बादी का दौर शुरू हो रहा है.
किसकी बर्बादी का दौर शुरू हो सकता है?
ये तो अभी पता लगेगा आपको कि किसने दिल्ली बर्बाद की और कहां किसको जो है उसका फायदा और नुकसान होते हुए देखेंगे.
So this was Alka Lamba. She's saying that the real game will begin now because the EVM pertaining to this locality of Kalka Ji will now open up. The assembly constituency for Kalka Ji, the counting is on. 4 rounds have been done. She has just left. She said that she'll come back yet again. She's not leaving the counting center, and she's hopeful for making a comeback in the electoral politics by winning or representing or winning the elections from Kalka Ji. Meanwhile, we are just getting very complex reactions here. We are getting 3 kind of results. One, what we are getting from the EC website. The other, we are getting from both the parties. The AAP supporters claim that they are leading. The Congress supporters saying they are leading, and the BJP supporters also saying that they are leading. And at this counting center, I'll show you there are 4 assembly constituencies for which the counting is happening.
Ghazali, that's the reward of a reporter. That's the reward of a reporter. Every bit of information coming first to the reporter at the nerve center at the correct place. That's the reward of a reporter on the ground. Nothing can match that.
Okay, Manoj Tiwari, a former BJP chief of Delhi, is speaking. Let's listen in.
खाता खुलने का तो मुझे भी कहीं से ऐसा नहीं दिखा.
So a brief reaction coming in. Yes, let's go back to Ghazali. Yes, Nikunj, you have a question for him.
No, my question to you, Ghazali, I'm sorry we had to interrupt you there in between. I'm sorry, but my question to you, Ghazali, was that you said there are multiple claims, counter claims that are being made by the party workers, and then there is Election Commission's website. But tell me something that only you can tell us today, Ghazali, and that is whose body language is more upbeat? Is it the BJP workers' body language that is more upbeat? They think they have scaled it, they have scaled the peak. As I said to Maria, history is being made here today. History is being made here after nearly 3 decades. BJP's political exclusion from the capital at the level of the capital's governance ends here. So is it the BJP workers who are completely upbeat, or is it the AAP workers who are still hanging to the hope with a slender thread? What is the mood there?
I'll just tell you an incident, and you can gauge the fact that Manish Sisodia, who is fighting from Jangpura, and Atishi is fighting from Kalkaji. Both candidates arrived here in the morning, but we could not see that kind of, what we had seen in previous elections, that since morning you'll see all kind of celebrations happening. You won't find any celebrations happening. The crowd is here, the AAP supporters here, the BJP supporters are also here, but none of them are celebrating as of now. That shows the kind of neck-to-neck fight it is going on, because after every round we have claims and counter-claims, as I suggested, and then there are people who are saying, I'll just tell you that we spoke to one supporter of Aam Aadmi Party who had come for Amanatullah Khan, who is fighting from Okhla seat, which is also a keenly contested fight. He said, कि अभी ओखला वाला जो area है उसका EVM नहीं खुला है. So everybody is claiming that from their area or the locality where they have voted, that EVM has not opened up.
Has
so it's
become
certainly
sort of a magical, magical mystery or a magical wand. EVM khulna.
We hear so much of that, EVM khulna. But we will come back to you, Ghazali, in just a bit. But let's bring in Sajan and Rashid, who are here in the studio. We also have Mohan Kumar Mangalam, and Zainab is continuing to be with us. Zainab, it appears that people of Delhi have sent a message that they do not want a government which is at constant loggerheads, one that is looking for excuses, and one that is not looking for solutions.
Absolutely. The people of Delhi were sick and tired of the constant, bickering when it came to, the LG is not allowing us this, the bureaucrats are not helping us with that, the files are not going forward. And even if there was a grain of truth in it, the fact is, Aam Aadmi Party had lost its sheen. I'll give you a small anecdotal example. I have family who lives in GK, and you were just, one of your reporters was just mentioning Shikha Rai. The truth is, the parks there that are made, Shikha Rai would personally come and check those, although she was not the winning, she was not the sitting MLA there, Saurabh Bhardwaj was, but she would come there, she would bring Bansuri Swaraj there, and it was a big thing for the people of those small colonies, who appreciate the fact that there's actually, on-ground work. Another thing that worked in BJP's favor was RSS and the foot soldiers, the Swayam Sevaks. There was a lot of house-to-house campaigning. There was a lot of, work that BJP put in convincing people that we are going to give you better governance and better welfare compared to Aam Aadmi Party. Aam Aadmi Party just stuck to one theme, which is confrontational politics and playing the victim. It worked. If you remember, in the first term of Kejriwal ji, when there was black ink thrown on him and all of that, that gave sympathy to Arvind Kejriwal ji. People were sympathetic towards him because he had that aura of a Aam Aadmi. So people felt, yes, he's a victim. He's being bullied by the big guns of politics. But what has happened is Kejriwal ji has now converted himself just like any other politician, with all with all the paraphernalia of a big politician. Be it the car, be it the Sheesh Mahal. These things actually worked against him. So when he showed himself as a victim, the image that he had now constructed around himself was of this big national
Zainab,
politician.
we will be coming back to you.
People didn't buy it anymore.
Give me a moment, Zainab. Sunny Ahluwalia of the Aam Aadmi Party is joining us as well. Sunny Ahluwalia, it doesn't look too good for you.
And Mr. Ahluwalia, I must ask you one question, The fact of the matter at this point in time is that it looks like that you have fought a decent battle, but the BJP has overpowered you in the battle in your home turf, from where your party, this party which was the latest and the last party in this country to be born out of a movement, was born. And many people, Mr. Ahluwalia, I still remember, I was one of them, I think Maria was also there. We have actually covered that movement. We have covered that movement day in, day out for days together, hours, days together. There was a generation of voters who are now 29, 30, who are now working class voters of Delhi, which in the first election did not even know the name of your candidates, and the party just voted for the symbol. Many observers, Mr. Ahluwalia, in the recent past have been writing that the hopes of that entire generation were dashed by the conduct of the Aam Aadmi Party, because you became just another political party, and those people, those youngsters of 18 years old to 35 years old at that point in time when we were covering that movement thought that you were the real harbinger of the change in Indian politics.
Still now, there is a lot of time left and we are only 5 seats away. Still now, there is a lot of time left and we are only 5 seats away. If 5 seats come here and there, all the result will be changed. Number 2, we all were professionals. I am a doctor by profession and I joined Arvind Kejriwal because of the only one reason. And that was when the movement started against the anti-corruption. Now, what is the problem with the BJP? Now, BJP has also came on the same pitch. First, they used to say that they are giving free revenues, they are giving free to this. Now they are also agreeing that social welfare scheme is important and it must be given to everyone. In Delhi, the election have changed right now. Why it has changed? Because first they used to talk about polarization. Now they have changed their stand and they have come to the local issues which we wanted, which we started. We said that people should have good education. Now they are also saying the same thing. We said there should be good health services to the people. They are saying the same thing. And the Delhi people were scared that whenever the BJP will come into power, free electricity, free bus service, everything will stop. But the Prime Minister has to say, Amit Shah has to say that we will continue with the same services which were provided by the Aadmi Party. So one thing is very clear, we came to provide a social welfare scheme to the people and in that we are successful. Second, we wanted to stop the polarization kind of politics. We are able to do that also. Still now, they were saying Arvind Kejriwal is not leading, they are trailing. Now Arvind Kejriwal is leading, Manish Sisodia is leading, and we are standing on the same table. There has been undeclared emergency in our nation. And what is the reason behind it? The Bharatiya Janata Party say, we need double engine sarkar. What is double engine sarkar? That means they need a dictatorship. Why can't a federal democracy be present in India? Wherever they lose their election, they try to rule it from governor, lieutenant governor. They like to do these kind of things. On the other hand, what Aadmi Party says, Aadmi says that we should focus on the human resources. We should focus on the people. And this is our aim. And successfully, for the last 10 years, we were successful to do that. And in coming elections also, in coming election results also, you can clearly see that BJP has also come down the same scheme.
There seems to be some relief for the Aadmi Party. At 10:41, Arvind Kejriwal appears to be leading. What is the margin of lead? We'll try and get that detail for the viewers. But Parvesh Verma is now trailing. Aishwarya is joining us from where Mr. Verma himself is. Aishwarya, if these numbers actually look that the tables have turned back for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, it certainly appears that there is something that is going on here. Perhaps we are not able to catch that at the moment.
Well, certainly, and since the time the candidates were announced for the New Delhi Assembly constituency, all eyes were on this particular seat because it was a triangular fight between Parvesh Verma, Arvind Kejriwal and Mr. Sandeep Dixit, and a very close contest is being fought. After third round, what the information is something that we are learning. 343 votes Arvind Kejriwal is leading with, and certainly it is Parvesh Verma who was leading in the upcoming in the initial 2 rounds. He is now trailing. So we are right now present at his residence only. He confirmed to us this morning that he will speak, but let's wait for the results. And that's what the messaging from the top BJP leadership was early up in the morning, that let's wait till the final results doesn't arrive, don't celebrate too much. And that's where Parvesh Verma's picture comes in place. A very tough battle, but Parvesh Verma is glued to the television screens and he's watching these results very closely. He's direct in contact with the with those officials and the Bharatiya Janata Party workers who are there at the polling station as well. 343 seats is something Parvesh Verma is trailing after 3 rounds, is something that the information we are getting.
Round 5 is what we are being told by our research team, Ash. It says that Kejriwal is still leading at 10,294 by 386. That's the gap between him and Parvesh Verma, who has so far polled 9,908. So that margin isn't really much. Remember, last time around, Mr. Kejriwal had won by 21,687 votes. And certainly that's the Chief Minister's constituency. That's how it is often described. Absolutely. From Sheila Dikshit to Mr. Kejriwal, New Delhi constituency is the Chief Minister's constituency. And it's a bellwether seat.
The most prestigious. I like that term, Mr. Kidwai.
Yeah, and Nikunj, you see, if Pravesh Verma defeats Arvind Kejriwal, he will be a contender. And a contender for chief ministerial post. More importantly, you look at that vote share, and vote share is very interesting. And my friend Sajjan, he knows numbers better than me. He's from data science. I'm from data science.
He's been holding to a contrarian view, and I like contrarian views.
Absolutely. So Nikunj, you see here, as per this, there's 49% BJP and 44% Aam Aadmi Party. So Aam Aadmi Party is not losing in a big way. It is only a chip of a middle class vote that has moved from Aam Aadmi Party that used to come during assembly election, not in Lok Sabha election, and going back to Lok Sabha election thing for the BJP. So that is a very crucial factor. It is not that all segments of society have left Arvind Kejriwal. Arvind Kejriwal is still getting. What is the point?
Mr. Kidwai, in any case, all sections of society
44% vote is very significant, and the Congress has become very insignificant. So what they had in the past, 4.5%, they are around 5%.
Yeah, so I mean they have improved the tally, by the way.
No, this is not an improvement, because when you take this kind of gamble, again what Omar Abdullah is saying, if they had fought together, there are no ifs and buts in politics, things would have been perhaps different.
But Mr. Kidwai, you know it better than us. Yeah. You know it better than me. That 2 plus 2 doesn't always come to 5 in politics. Na?
Yeah, but in Lok Sabha election it has shown. I have to keep saying.
Anyhow, I must get my friend Sajjan here in the conversation. Yes. You have a contrarian view about the numbers as they are reflecting right now, and you have been constantly pointing out towards a keener, closer contest.
Precisely. I mean, that's precisely because, I mean, of the ground thing that I still hold that while there was anti-incumbency, intense among the middle class, and the poor segment was also not enthused, there were complaints. Going by the voter psychology, it's very difficult to assume that the poor vote base, which is a tangible beneficiary of the schemes, even if it's complaining about the sewage, garbage, all sort of a thing, abandoning the incumbent which has been delivering and then jumping the gun, that is something that I'm still holding on. So I'm not now questioning the direction will be changed, but what I am saying that perhaps I may go wrong, certainly because most of the exit polls predicted otherwise, that the gap would be a bit closer, maybe 40-30 something, or a seat here and around.
Okay, Sajjan, just
a fair point.
Yeah, just a moment, because let's ask Juhi to put that data on air about the vote share and the shift from 2020. That will give us a bit of clear picture, and that is, just look at this number now, vote share. 49% to the BJP, 44% to the Aam Aadmi Party. BJP has made a gain of 10%. They were at 39%.
And loss of 10%.
Yeah, and it's the loss of 10%.
And Congress, as it is,
a huge gap.
Exactly.
And in what clearly is a bipolar contest here now.
And Maria, it's not just about the class. It's also the swing voter primarily comes from the Purvanchali voters.
Yes.
Purvanchalis. So it's Pahadis and Purvanchalis. Pahadis have been consistent in both assembly and because last time Manish Sisodia in Patparganj, when the Uttarakhandi votes is in significant number. So Uttarakhandi voter, but this time it seems that the Purvanchali voters in a significant way who otherwise constitute the lower middle class to the poor segment. But in Lok Sabha, so they chose to, a section of, it seems, them chose to trust Modi and BJP, and that is where Northeast Delhi, North Delhi, wherein you find.
So I may say that nothing has changed from what happened 6 months ago. BJP 6 months ago was at 51%.
Yes.
Now, if this number actually holds, it is at 49%. So Anil Antony, come in on this now. A 49% vote share is similar to what happened 6 months ago when the BJP won 7 on 7, polling 51%. Anil?
Thank you for having me in the show. This has been a day very... Thank you for having me in the show. This is a very decisive victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party. We are still only 5 rounds into counting. We are very sure that by the day the counting is over, our margin will be even higher. These results, yes, if you are looking at vote share, it is similar to a Lok Sabha performance. But you look at Delhi, always there was a perception that there is a difference in the voting pattern during the Lok Sabha and the assembly elections. And that is what we saw in the previous 2 elections. But this time the people of Delhi have spoken, and after the resounding victory we had, our 3rd state victory in the Lok Sabha elections. One thing that we saw in many of the state elections, whether it was Maharashtra, whether it was Haryana, and now in New Delhi, in Delhi. Everywhere is that people are now saying that they want progress, they want development, they want double engine governments. They know that for the next 5 years it is going to be a very strong Bharatiya Janata Party led by a Prime Minister in the national stage. And we are creating a lot of projects as well as policies that are meant to reach out to masses, to empower the man for growth. And people are saying that they would like state governments that is also aligned to that vision, and they would like double engine governments. You look at Delhi specifically, there are other reasons also, like the Aadmi Party. Historically, it came many years back as an anti-corruption crusade. It was telling that it was against VIP culture, it was against Parivarwad. It stood for good governance. But in the last 10 years, everything we have seen from the Aadmi Party and their governance is exactly opposite what they are saying. A few months back, almost every minister, including the chief minister, was in jail. They are convicted by different courts. Some of them are having grave allegations. They said that they are going to make Yamuna into something similar to Thames, but now it has become a toxic dump yard. This was a state where even 10 years back, when India's GDP was a $2 trillion economy, Delhi was a state which had almost 10,000 crores of surplus. Now it has become almost a deficit state. Then when Mr. Kejriwal went to jail, Sunita Kejriwal was trying to emerge as one of the faces of the Aam Aadmi Party. During the Lok Sabha elections, the Aam Aadmi Party
celebration shots coming in from AAP workers. What is the trigger for that AAP workers are celebrating with such great enthusiasm and zeal, Mr. Ahluwalia? Or do we have any reporter who can put it in perspective?
No, things are very clear. In the initial 5 rounds, the result is not far. The difference, according to what we are showing, is 36 and 34. So if the BJP is saying that we are leading, they are leading where? It hardly the difference of two seats, and in 2 seats also we are recovering soon. So definitely you will see that even in Arvind Kejriwal ji is leading, and things will be clear very soon, and the results will be clear, and Aam Aadmi Party will form government in Delhi for the 4th time.
Mr. Ahluwalia.
Yes.
Yeah, Sajjan, I'll again come back to you, my friend. You know, the interesting point you made that, and this is amongst the bottom of the pyramid voters, it's a difficult kind of a shift to make all the time. Where you have a guaranteed welfare stream, not one or not two, but a stream flowing into your coffers, and still you choose. Obviously, this result. See, look, I am not a psephologist and I am not a number cruncher, but the result tells me something, that it is very, very comprehensive and very, very convincing. I am not calling it overwhelming, but I am saying very, very convincing shift of voters from AAP to the BJP, which means that, as I said in the beginning of the broadcast, Maria, that the enduring love affair, enduring image of Mr. Modi and the BJP, and Mr. Modi and Delhi is actually coming to the fruition and coming to the salvation of BJP finally after 3 days.
And this also shows that BJP's reach
is their biggest guarantee.
No, BJP's reach among the poor voters, the landscape is increasing, because Delhi has been out of bound for BJP as far as assembly election is concerned. Now it seems that while middle class obviously was the consolidated bloc, BJP convinced, be it Purvanchalis, be it Uttarakhandis, or be it others, but the lower segment voters economically. So which means that BJP's subaltern outreach in terms of the caste as well as in terms of the class, is expanding.
That subaltern outreach, Mr. Kejriwal, is a very good point he makes. Look, subaltern outreach also worked for BJP in so many ways in Maharashtra.
Yes.
Subaltern, it was that only that finally nailed the
I think that is where I have
MBA.
disagreed with Sajjan. I think it's there. You see, Aam Aadmi Party has bashed the BJP booth by booth, block by block, vote by vote. Where the Aam Aadmi Party has faltered, it was beyond them actually, is the middle class, the chartered accountants.
Why was it beyond them?
Let me come to it. Because they were voting for BJP in the Lok Sabha, and they were voting for Arvind Kejriwal in the Assembly. And that 5, 6, 7% vote has tilted the scales. It's very simple.
No, but Mr. Kejriwal, that was as the Chief Minister of Delhi, as a man who's himself from middle class, who's an income tax officer.
He's Agarwal. Yeah.
Wait.
Agarwals have not voted for him.
Mr. Kejriwal, let me not go to the caste. Let me not get to the brass tacks.
It's all about caste.
Let me not get to. No, it's no more about just about.
It is.
No, that landscape is changing. We'll come to that later. Let me not get to it. Let me not have a quarrel into that point. Let me not have.
It will never change. In India, people don't.
Let's not forget, 8 months down the line.
In India, people don't cast their vote. They vote for their caste.
That's an old dictum, Mr. Kejriwal, according to
you. Yes, people vote their caste.
That dictum is behind us. All I'm saying, Mr. Kejriwal, is that, it was well within Mr. Kejriwal's reach, like Mrs. Sheila Dikshit previously displayed.
Yeah.
Mind you, that was on display in this very city, in this national capital of ours. When she died, most of the major newspapers said the maker of the modern New Delhi died. Why?
Why? Because Churchill lost. After winning World War. So this mandate is not.
But the fact of the matter is, what Mr. Kejriwal could have done in terms of infrastructure, what Mr. Kejriwal could have done for middle class constituency, many neutral observers would say he certainly turned his face away from that.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I think I would say Mr. Kejriwal played his victim card bit too much, overplayed it. Yeah. All the things. But for me, most important part of this election, regardless of the outcome, is that Mr. Kejriwal is holding on to a large number of vote share. Normally, elections, Sheila Dikshit, when she lost badly. Congress got 24% vote. Then they got 4%, 2%, 5% vote. Kejriwal is holding on to 44%. This is very commendable in the given circumstances.
Okay. Very commendable, says
Anil Antony continues to be with us. Anil, okay, we will go to Anil Antony. We are looking at 11 a.m. now, and it's very clear that people of Delhi have chosen the BJP, and they have decided that when it comes to the national capital, they do not want any multiplicity of agencies. They do not want any chaos between the state government and the central government. They want complete coherence and in-sync functioning, which was not happening for the last few months and years. Sajjan, that will be a fair assessment.
Precisely. Now the direction is not under question. It's just about the margin and the tally.
Absolutely.
To which you stick to your guns and maintain that it'll be a convincing number for Mr. Kejriwal, as Mr. Kejriwal says. That's commendable.
It won't be a humiliation. Put it other way around, kind of.
No, but what does it mean for a party? What does it mean for a party whose emergence is from this city-state?
And from the middle class.
From the middle class.
Yeah.
And the middle class has shifted very clearly, partially, I would say. And that has happened post the budget. I think one of the needle shifting moment was the budget day, where finance minister, during the later part of her speech, went ahead and made that announcement. We cannot take away from that the BJP strategy was playing out at multiple
levels. Maria, you are saying, the auctioning of vote has taken place and it's the better bidder has won.
No, I would say, Mr. Kejriwal, no, I would also not agree with Maria's formulation. I would say that there was an inflection point that day. There was an inflection point, probably convincing the voters, but at the lower end of the spectrum, that BJP is giving them a more respectful package for their work. But I would say that the middle class voters have been now deserting Mr. Kejriwal, if not in droves, then slowly, bit by bit, over the years. And middle class voters in the city were convinced that Mr. Kejriwal thinks that it's only the freebie politics that he needs to dabble in to hold on to his power. And that convincing did not happen overnight. It happened over a period of time. Might be finance minister's stroke was the final inflection point.
Yes, and also, when a movement which turns into a party until it enjoys the normative edge, a middle class, rational, a different vision, anti-corruption. Now you see with Aam Aadmi Party, all the normative edge it used to have, of a new vision, of anti-corruption, it lost all the plank, So that is why it was holding on to the ground precisely because of the freebies and the facilities it was providing to the better. Since the demographic weight of the poor is more, and that has been keeping the BJP out. So my assessment of a conservative estimate, contrarian to the most of the exit poll scenarios, is precisely based that when demography is weighing in favor of a freebie and the facility kind of a politics, even if the party loses the normative weight, middle class abandons it. That's a crisis. Normative weight you have lost. That happened with the CPM after Nandigram and Shrimpur.
That's what I'm saying. It has been happening over a period of time.
Exactly.
Happening over a period of time. It cannot happen overnight particularly in a homogeneous city like Delhi.
I would go a step further. You see, the democracy is undergoing, not only India, elsewhere also, a lot of change. The whole concept of, see, the middle class is very self-centered and self-obsessed. That the political science theories of Hobbes, Locke, Rousseau, or the maximum, happiness to maximum number and all is on a trail worldwide. Not in Delhi alone.
Mr. Kejriwal, even the bottom of the pyramid and top of the pyramid are very self-centered people. Why are you abusing my middle class viewership?
No, not my.
Why are you abusing my middle class viewership? Middle class people are as less self. I mean, they are probably most altruistic people because they are highly educated people. The middle class is the most altruistic people. Most selfless.
Well, we can go on arguing. You see, who's the one who produces, who's the one who works hard.
But that is a classical theory that is probably being offended now.
Not that. If you have reporters, service class or the intermediate class is doing that, a beneficiary of both sides. So anyway, in nutshell, what I'm saying, not to take away anything away from the BJP. What BJP is able to do, they are able to hold on to their core voter of Lok Sabha in the state assembly, and that's a long and short of it.
Okay, hello viewers, it's 11 a.m. and the picture is more or less clear. There is no picture abhi baki hai anymore, and it's clear that BJP is forming the government in Delhi. The 27-year-long vanwas seems to have ended. Lots have worked for the party. The people of Delhi have given a clear mandate for change. And at 11 a.m., we can also say that Arvind Kejriwal's own battle playing out in New Delhi seems to be getting a little tricky here because Parvesh Verma of the BJP is now leading at 11 a.m. Roughly around 7 rounds of counting over, 4 to 5 more rounds to go. But if the chief minister or the convener or the face of the party loses, what does it mean besides him losing the state? Sajjan?
It's a massive loss of face.
I mean, not only massive loss, it's a sort of poetic justice what he did to the Sheila Dikshit. I mean, Congress may have been unpopular, but by any measurement, Sheila Dikshit personally, yes. I mean, the way she was defeated, I mean, sometimes electorates are also ruthless, I mean, relentlessly. And therefore, I think it would be a poetic justice. I mean, no one would be more...
In the old times, Sajjan, when war was to take place, conventional war, the moment, the king or the person, commander was this thing, and it would have the end of the war. But again, Mamta also lost, but her party won. Yeah. Biju Patnaik also lost in the old time, and but the Kalinga Congress had won. So there are a lot of things are there. I mean, I'm just saying that, see, it's a well-fought election and a better party that had a lot of preparations in terms of booth management, in terms of vote issues, in terms of projection.
And AAP's showcase is always retaining power in Delhi across India. If they lose Delhi, it would be difficult to continue the forte.
And from the fact that, as I said, that the genesis of this party is in this city.
Yes.
We have all covered that.
Remember Prajarajyam party, it started off so well, and then it's nowhere.
Yeah. It's the genesis, it's the bedrock of their politics.
Precisely.
And that bedrock crumbles, everything goes for a toss.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try and get some reporters now who are joining us. Shreya is joining us, and she is tracking the Kalkaji fight. She is in fact outside BJP's Ramesh Biduri's residence. Aam Aadmi Party, remember, has fielded Atishi, the Delhi chief minister from that constituency, and she appears to be trailing at the moment. In 2020, Atishi had defeated BJP's Dharambir Singh by 11,393 votes. An interesting battle playing out there. And where is Ramesh Biduri, Shreya?
Well, of course, I am inside Ramesh Biduri's house. He's a seasoned MP, and of course, we can see his family members, his relatives are also here. They're tracking the counting of votes. We will shortly meet Mr. Biduri. He's upstairs. He's having his breakfast, and he has given us time. We will get talking to him shortly. But before that, let's get talking to some of the people here who are very enthusiastically tracking the counting of votes, because today is the D-Day and we know how important Kalkaji constituency is. It is one of the hot seats, considering our sitting CM is going to be fighting against seasoned politician Mr. Ramesh Biduri. Sir, क्या लगता है इस बार क्या होने वाला है? Majority हम देख रहे हैं कि बीजेपी लीड करे, आपको क्या लगता है?
बीजेपी लीड करेगी, बिल्कुल लीड कर रही है बीजेपी। 42 से 50 सीट आएंगी बीजेपी की।
और रमेश बिदुरी जी का क्या लग रहा है, डेस्टिनी क्या होने वाला है कालका जी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी से, जो कि आम आदमी पार्टी का स्ट्रॉन्ग होल्ड रहा है?
रमेश बिदुरी कम से कम 20,000 वोटों से जीत पाएंगे कालका जी विधानसभा से, 20,000 वोटों से।
क्या क्या तैयारी करके रखे हैं आप लोग?
ढोल नगाड़े सब,
ढोल नगाड़े पटाखों से स्वागत होगा जी। बिल्कुल
बिल्कुल जीत होएगी जी, 20,000 से ऊपर से जीतेंगे।
इतिहास बन जाएगा जी। हाँ, इस बार इतिहास बनेगा। ढोल बोला सब तैयार है।
और आप लोग जो ये ट्रैक कर रहे हो काउंटिंग ऑफ वोट्स, क्या लगता है केजरीवाल जी तो अभी आगे चले गए, मनीष सिसोदिया जी भी आगे चले गए?
पीछे हो गए, अभी पीछे हो गए, केजरीवाल भी पीछे हो गए, मनीष सिसोदिया भी अभी पीछे हुई है। हाँ, ये सब पीछे हो गए अभी।
तो आप लोग कॉन्फिडेंट हो कि मतलब बीजेपी लैंडस्लाइड विक्ट्री?
कॉन्फिडेंट है, मेहनत करिए चुनावों में, हमने जाके मेहनत करिए, घर घर जाके वहाँ मिले लोगों से, हमने वोटें गिरवाई है, वहाँ वोटों वाले दिन गए, पूरा वो मेहनत किया, अपनी मेहनत पे विश्वास है हमें, मेहनत पर, मोदी जी के काम पे विश्वास।
रमेश जी के साथ बात कब होगा सर?
बस अब से 15-20 मिनट बाद आपसे बात चालू हो जाएंगी।
Okay. So as you heard from the people, they are quite confident that the BJP is going to form the government in the national capital after 27 years of drought. And we know that in the recent past, Mr. Biduri has been in some troubled waters because of the kind of comments that he made. But as you can see, the voters have made up their mind. They have decided the fate of the national capital. Although we see some of the leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, especially Mr. Manish Sisodia, leading from the Jangpura constituency. There we are seeing the anti-incumbency factor is not playing out as much, but in the rest of the constituencies, majority is swaying towards BJP. The polling booths are saying that that the BJP is going to come to power in the national capital after 27 years. We will try get talking to Mr. Biduri in a very short while, and till then we will have to wait with our bated breath until he comes and meets us. And then of course as you heard from the people here, they are quite confident that BJP is going to secure maximum votes with the majority, and they are here
live from
all
there,
set.
and a very broad spectrum of commentary coming in from my young reporter there from Shreya, and covered all flanks, comprehensively spoken, covered all flanks, spoken to the family members also of Mr. Biduri, who are sounding very confident, saying he will win by more than 20,000 votes. Controversial Mr. Biduri now there. Shreya, let me also now go to our other panelists and reporters joining us.
In fact, Ishika is joining us and she's speaking to Mr. Manoj Tiwari. Ishika, over to you. We'll connect with Ishika in just a bit. But Pradeep, 11 a.m. and it looks certainly very good for the BJP. You were part of the communication strategy, the media team. Okay, just hold on to your thoughts, Pradeep. Ishika, over to you. Ishika, if you can hear me.
Well, certainly today is the big day, and in fact, BJP certainly seems to be very confident. And joining us live right now is the BJP MP Manoj Tiwari. Sir, आपने campaigning बहुत की. इस बार आप confident है कि आप ही आ रहे हैं सरकार?
जी, हमको पूरा विश्वास है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी क्लियर मेजॉरिटी के साथ सरकार बनाने जा रही है। अभी भी जो स्क्रीन पे मैं देख रहा हूँ, 42 सीटों पे बीजेपी आगे है, 28 पे आम आदमी पार्टी आगे है। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी भी पीछे हो गए छठे दौर में, आतिशी जी भी पीछे चल रही हैं, मनीष सिसोदिया जी अभी थोड़ा आगे हो गए हैं, मगर हमें आशा है कि ये सीट भी हम जीतेंगे। तो ये सब कुछ इस प्रकार से दिखा रहा है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को दिल्ली के लोग आशीर्वाद दे चुके हैं।
सर, आपने बहुत सारे मुद्दों को हाईलाइट किया अपने कैंपेनिंग में। क्या लगता है सर कि कौन सा मुद्दा सबसे ज्यादा जनता से कनेक्ट करके ऐसे अर्ली ट्रेंड्स दिखा रहा है?
देखिए, मेरा मानना है ना, दिल्ली की जनता को अरविंद केजरीवाल ने धोखा दिया। साफ पानी देना था, शराब बांटना शुरू कर दिया। दिल्ली के गेस्ट टीचर्स को, दिल्ली के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर्मचारियों को, इन सब लोगों का जीवन दुश्वार कर दिया। बस मार्शलों को नौकरी से निकाल देना, दिल्ली के बुजुर्गों का पेंशन रोक देना, दिल्ली के गरीबों को आयुष्मान योजना नहीं लागू होने देना। हम पहली कैबिनेट में, सरकार बनते ही भगवान की कृपा से जो कुछ हो रहा है, पहली कैबिनेट में आयुष्मान योजना को हम लागू करेंगे। अभी देखिए सौरभ भारद्वाज भी पीछे हो गए, सौरभ भारद्वाज भी पीछे हो गए हैं जीके से। तो ये सब कुछ इस समय नरेंद्र मोदी जी की गारंटी के पीछे दिल्ली खड़ी है। मोदी की गारंटी मतलब गारंटी पूरी होने की गारंटी, और उसके साथ खड़ी हो गई है दिल्ली की जनता कि अब हम नरेंद्र मोदी जी को डबल इंजन दे करके ही अपने दिल्ली का कल्याण करेंगे। इसमें सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा साफ पानी का, टूटी गलियों का, सीवर का खराब होना, और ये सब हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा चुनौती है जिसको हमें 5 साल के अंदर करना है।
सर, आपने कहा कि मोदी की गारंटी पर जनता भरोसा करेगी, लेकिन अगर जनता भरोसा करती है तो फिर सीएम फेस कौन रहेगा?
वो हम लोग फैसला कर लेंगे, वो आ जाएगा। बहुत अच्छा सीएम मिलेगा जो 15 साल का भी रिकॉर्ड है कि 15 साल फुल फ्लेज सरकार शिलाजी चलाई थी दिल्ली में। अब एक बार सरकार बनेगी तो आप विश्वास करिए कि हम 20 साल तक चलाएंगे, ऐसा सीएम आपको मिलेगा।
सर, मेरा आखिरी सवाल ये है कि आपने कहा कि एक बड़ा मुद्दा साफ पानी भी था, यमुना की भी आप लोगों ने काफी बात की। अगर आज बीजेपी की सरकार बन जाती है तो हम माने कि 5 साल में यमुना साफ हो जाएगी?
100% हम यमुना जी को इस स्तर पे ला देंगे कि दिल्ली के लोग शाम सुबह यमुना जी पे जाने की प्लानिंग करेंगे, यमुना जी में डुबकी लगाएंगे, यमुना जी में एक से एक बोट चलेगी, और यमुना जी वन ऑफ द बेस्ट टूरिस्ट स्पॉट होंगी, और लोग यमुना जी को पीपल फ्रेंडली पाएंगे।
अरविंद केजरीवाल को भी इनवाइट करेंगे फिर डुबकी लगाने के लिए?
निश्चित रूप से अगर वो दिल्ली में रहे, पंजाब नहीं भागे, तो उनको भी हम लोग निश्चित रूप से डुबकी लगवाएंगे उसी यमुना जी में जहां वो बार बार झूठ बोलते रहे और बोलते कि ये अरविंद केजरीवाल ने जो कहा था ना कि यमुना जी पर वोट नहीं मिलता, यमुना जी का शाप अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को लग गया है।
So in fact, this was Manoj Tiwari ji with us, who was certainly saying that this time the BJP is very confident that they will be making a comeback, and certainly the issue of Yamuna politics is going to be the highlight, and that is what he says that the voters must have voted on. Over to you.
Thank you for getting us another news make of the day. We will keep coming back to you. So continue to be with us. We have Neerja Chaudhary right here in the studio, Amitabh Tiwari joining us as well. But before I go to them, a word from Pradeep Bhandari, who was managing the communications department in these elections. Pradeep, 42 is what BJP is standing at the moment, a gain of 34 from 2020.
Well, Maria, what has happened is historic, and it is historic because Delhi has voted Prime Minister Narendra Modi's governance. Delhi has also given a befitting response to Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and his misgovernance. The important aspect here, Maria, is that if you analyze our campaign was completely focused on the civic issues of Delhi. We were raising the basic issues of residents of Delhi, which was clean drinking water, which was Tuti Sadak, which was Delhi becoming a garbage den under Arvind Kejriwal, and which was Arvind Kejriwal's lies, falsehood, corruption and deceit. And Delhi voters believed in Prime Minister Narendra Modi's commitment and guarantee. It is also very important because historically Delhi has been a tripolar state, and in a bipolar contest, if the Bharatiya Janata Party is defeating the Aam Aadmi Party, despite Aam Aadmi Party having some traditional pockets and stronghold, this also tells you on the ground that there was massive anger against Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and people believed in the hope of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And overall, if you look at the entire election was fought on only 3 issues. A, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's credibility and commitment. B, anger against Arvind Kejriwal's corruption. And 3 civic issues of Delhi, which we could raise in our 3 Sankalp Patra, which we released in successive times, which was a precedent in an election. Earlier, we used to release our Sankalp Patra once.
Pradeep, let me ask you a question there. Let me ask you a question there, since you start with Prime Minister Modi's enduring and never-ending appeal. Let me ask you a question there, Pradeep. Thanks first of all for waiting patiently. But let me ask you this. It's finally, after 3 decades, 3 decades is a very, very long time. as one of my panelists said, this is a new millennium that BJP is coming to power in the capital. It's finally that crucial middle class vote, and it's finally that the bottom of the pyramid, which has always walked behind Mr. Modi like the Pied Piper, and Mr. Modi's enduring and ever-ending appeal has been able to salvage the day for the BJP. Is it?
Absolutely yes, Nikunji. If you study the difference between 2020 and now, in 2020 we could not get a significant portion of the middle class vote to the polling booth. This time Prime Minister Narendra Modi's commitment, appeal and his complete guarantee helped us ensure that our state unit's effort could catalyze to a victory. So yes, we got the middle class to the polling booth, but if you look at the data even in detail, we could make a significant dent in the urban poor vote also. So overall, if you look at it, this time we have got vote from all class segments, all caste segments. Proportion might be differentiated, but the factor for us between now, why did we have to wait for 30 years and now we are able to deliver it, is Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that leader which people of the country believe in, and because of which will be forming the government in Delhi now.
All right.
Thank you, Pradeep. Very eloquently said. Your psephologist inside you waking up today very firmly and very clearly delineating issues there. We'll come back to you. Ms. Shama Mohammed, also of the Congress Party, joins us. Shama, welcome to NDTV. And what are your opening remarks on the kind of results that you are seeing right now playing out? Would you still like to wait out, or do you think that this is concretizing in the way that it is concretizing in favor of the BJP? Or do you think there is still a chance of your ally, at least in the Lok Sabha, coming back?
You see, what I feel is, for us, it's an important election, and we have increased our vote share. We are not an NGO, let me make it very clear. We're a political party. We get into elections to fight and to win at the end of the day. Yes, unfortunately, what I see right now is there is no positive angle to any of the seats of ours, but at least our vote share has gone up. And I think people of Delhi have recognized somebody who has lied throughout to them. Now, let's understand what is the basis of Arvind Kejriwal getting into politics. It's called India Against Corruption movement. When we were in power, the UPA was in power. He insisted on something called the Lokpal. We passed the Lokpal bill. Where is that Lokpal? You know what exposed him the most? When the High Court asked him to table the CAG report by calling a special assembly. The CAG report says very clearly that there has been a liquor scam, more than 2,000 crore. Now, if he was this incorruptible man who is actually against corruption, he would have called a special assembly session and tabled the report. Because he was involved, that is why he has not tabled the report, and that has exposed him very much. The other thing, you live in Delhi.
Coming back of this equation that there'll be no Arvind Kejriwal also in the India bloc, or there'll be no Congress in the India bloc going ahead. What will be the equation between the two parties after this result?
Mari, you can't put words into my mouth. I did not say that there will be no India bloc or any of that. What I'm trying to tell you is that there is somebody, all right, like Arvind Kejriwal, and I've given the example in another channel of Haryana. The Congress party has always accommodated the allies, whether it's DMK, Shiv Sena, Samajwadi, and also Arvind. Now, in the Haryana elections, they have, when the results came out, 1.5% of vote share. What should have Arvind done? Arvind should have said, you know what? You're our ally. We are not getting into Haryana. We want you to fight and defeat the BJP. We will support you. No. What does he do? I want to fight. We'll also fight every seat. We want 10 number of seats. Now, you have 1.5% vote share. Why would you want 10? He could have sacrificed. No, it's always the Congress party sacrificing for everybody else. So we understood his true colors about his megalomaniac behavior, about him, me, myself, and I. And that also the other day, when we understood what he exactly was, is when the CAG report came. And about a little bit when he went to jail in May, Why did he give the baton to Gopal Rai, who's a senior minister of his party, and made him the chief minister, just like Hemant Soren made Champa Soren the chief minister, because you are concerned about the people of that state. But of course, Arvind is concerned more about himself. And I still remember, and I will never forgive him for one thing, he had said, "Kaun hai Sonia Gandhi, ek vidwa." Sonia Gandhi at least has experience. She's been in the party. She knows what it is. Why was his wife called every time? Why was his wife campaigning for Aam Aadmi Party? What was her role? Is she a member of the party? No. So he is so insecure that he did not give a senior leader like Gopal Rai. No, Gopal Rai is nowhere, you know. But of course, he makes Atishi
Shama, I'm going to come back to you.
Very strong words there coming from Shama Mohammed, megalomaniac, and some very unkind cut you are delivering, Shama, to Arvind Kejriwal. We'll come back to you, but nonetheless, a very prolific assessment of the situation between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress done by Shama Mohammed there.
Okay,
let me go to my reporters.
Yes.
Let me go to my reporters once again. That's where the pulse of this election is. That's where pulse of all the elections always is. Not where we sit, but where my reporters stand, young, spirited, enthusiastic. Tanu, coming to you first. What's the scene there? It looks like scales are swinging again back in the favor of Mr. Parvesh Verma, BJP's chief ministerial hopeful.
Parvesh Verma takes the lead in round 7 of the vote counting. His vote share right now is that of 14,464. And Arvind Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi Party national convener, is trailing by 238 votes. So Parvesh Verma, a very tough contender from the New Delhi constituency seat, which is the hot seat of this election season, is at this point leading ahead of Arvind Kejriwal from the Aam Aadmi Party. You know, it's a very slim margin. Only a few moments ago, Arvind Kejriwal was leading ahead from this seat. And just now, you know, the tables have turned. Parvesh Verma has taken the lead. From this constituency counting center where I am at in Goal Market, the Greater Kailash constituency seat calculations of voters is also being done, which is from where Shikha Rai, the BJP candidate, is also leading. And Saurabh Bhardwaj from the Aam Aadmi Party is trailing. So as you can see around me, these celebrations are clearly by the BJP workers to celebrate the lead of Parvesh Verma as well as Shikha Rai and also Anil Kumar Sharma from the RK Puram constituency seat. Clearly very colourful mood here. It's a very important seat here with a triangular contest between former Chief Minister of Delhi Arvind Kejriwal, Parvesh Verma and Sandeep Dixit from the Congress, who is still trailing very much behind from both the candidates. Back to you.
Tanushka, thank you so much for joining us. We are also being joined by Aishwarya, and I can see Ghazali standing by. Aishwarya, that's where Parvesh Verma is. What are you picking up? He must be having some more data from the counting centers. What is he saying?
Well, I don't know where I'm standing is the residence of future Chief Minister of Delhi, or you know, it would be somebody else, but certainly it is Parvesh Verma who is still inside his residence, glued to the television screens and communicating to the workers who are present at the polling booth after 7 rounds. Of course, Parvesh Verma now leading again with 238 votes. It is Parvesh Verma who is completely silent. They want to wait till the end because it's a hard-fought battle between Arvind Kejriwal and Parvesh Verma. We also Arvind Kejriwal levelling allegations during the campaigning of Parvesh Verma distributing shoes to distributing bed sheets, and addition of the voters at his household, 13 to 14 voters were added. Election commissions doors were knocked by Arvind Kejriwal against Parvesh Verma, but at last it is the D-Day what we are witnessing. We will be getting the voice and we'll be getting Parvesh Verma, you know, only after the results, as he has communicated that I will just wait till the end results, and only after that I'll speak. But certainly, after 7th round, it is Parvesh Verma back again leading, and now workers also coming in at his residence.
Okay, Ash, thank you so much. Let's bring in Ghazali now. Ghazali, what can you tell us? How many rounds over? How many more to go?
See, I can report to you about 4 seats here from what we can see from Okhla. Amanatullah Khan is leading by around 10,000 votes. Ramesh Bidudi after 5th round is leading by around 2,300 votes. From Kasturba Nagar, the constituency, Neeraj is leading by 5,700 votes, and Manish Sisodia from his constituency is leading by 3,400 votes after 6th round. So a mixed response coming out from here. On 2 seats, Aam Aadmi Party's candidates are leading, while Atishi from Harkalka ji seat is trailing, and from Kasturba Nagar as well, BJP is leading. So this is why now you will see earlier, just like half an hour ago, there were lesser number of supporters from all the parties. But now I'll ask my camera person to show you that right now the supporters and the crowd is building up, and that is why the police also had to beef up the security here. You will see on both sides of the road, and regular announcements are being made by the police here, by the security officials here, not to raise slogans because section 144 is imposed in and around the counting center. So this is what we are picking here right now. Atishi and Manish Sisodia are still inside the counting center. They haven't left it. We saw Alka Lamba leaving from here, and right now the supporters from Aam Aadmi Party and BJP have gathered outside here, but no dhol nagada as what you are hearing from other seats.
Seats in all there at that counting center. And are you seeing now that it is coming to the hustings? We are almost close to 12 p.m. and it's coming to the hustings. Are you seeing any prominent candidates on the ground there? Their managers, are they trooping in, looking at the final tallies, or is it only just the supporters? Describe the scene for us.
Okay, so I'll just show you the scenes here. Nikalo, isko nikalo. Camera nikalo. The Aam Aadmi Party is saying that perhaps this is the time when what you are saying, that this is the time when you should draw the conclusion that where this results are headed. But Aam Aadmi Party says that this is the time when we peak. This is the right time for us to peak, so don't call out the elections now. The results will swing in our favor. No big candidates except the 2. Atishi from Kalkaji, Manish Sisodia from another seat, Jangpura. These 2 are the big faces right now. We haven't seen the BJP candidate over here yet. Supporters have gathered on both sides of the road. If you see on this side, supporters of Aam Aadmi Party and BJP for Okhla seat are celebrating. On this side also, supporters of BJP and Aam Aadmi Party have gathered. But we haven't seen the leaders or the big faces except the 2-3 I named, who are right now inside the center. And at this center, there are 4 seats for which counting is happening. Okhla, then we have Kalkaji, Jangpura and Kasturba Nagar.
All right, Ghazali, thank you so much for joining us. A quick recap for our viewers. Remember, the Aam Aadmi Party had won Jangpura seat in 2015 and 2020 with Praveen Kumar. I mean, he was the person. The Aam Aadmi Party's broad strategy was that if Manish Sisodia changes his seat from Patparganj to this one, there would be some kind of countering of anti-incumbency, but at the moment it appears it's not to be. But when you look at this seat, it's just a margin of 324 votes, the gap between the party number 1 and party number 2. But New Delhi constituency, that's the constituency to watch out for. Amitabh Tiwari, come in now. 1,229 is the gap between Parvesh Verma and Arvind Kejriwal.
And it seems to be consolidating now in favor of Mr. Verma.
Yeah, it will go down the wire because there's 13 rounds and I think 6 or 7 rounds have been completed. If you see the votes polled by Sandeep Dixit and if you add the votes to Aam Aadmi Party candidate, which is Kejriwal, it's likely that Kejriwal would have emerged victorious. And we'll have to see on how many seats is actually Congress damaging the Aam Aadmi Party. That would be an analysis to be later at a later point of time. At this point, 39% of the votes have been counted. So it's, as you said, the leads are now crystallizing. It could be 40-30, 45-25, whatever. And a very good ticker you're putting is Modi middle class trumps Kejriwal.
We have a brilliant writer on the desk giving out all those lines. Asim is giving out all those lines.
And I would add Mahila.
Nirja also had some words.
Yeah,
I would add Mahila because Aam Aadmi Party clearly was on the back foot in this election. They could have only won if they got unwavering support from the Mahila community. However, it seems that this Mahila Samman Yojana, since they have not transferred even a single installment in the accounts of the people, that seems to have not backfired.
Or they were unable to. Let's say they would have wanted to. But
they would have wanted to, but they have not.
Because that would have worked for them.
Cleared the bill to the LG. They had approved the budget 1 year back in February. This is a big strategic mistake on the part of Aam Aadmi Party. Even if LG would have deterred, that would have worked in the favor of Aam Aadmi Party. They could have played the victimhood card. So Modi, middle class and the Mahila, it seems, have all worked in favor of the BJP.
So 2% increase in the, polling percentage for the women actually meant women came out to vote more. They were voting for a promise of Prime Minister Modi because they trusted him more over Arvind Kejriwal then?
I wouldn't say the entire chunk of Mahila,
but a significant chunk.
But the middle class chunk of Mahila,
yeah,
I think this time turned towards the BJP. You're right, more women came out to vote. That's also very, very significant. And Mahila has by and large stuck with Kejriwal in the last 2 elections.
25% lead. 60% voted for AAP and only 35% for BJP in 2020.
Oh, that's a significant number.
That settles the election. Out of 14%, 15% lead, 12% was coming from women.
That's right. That's absolutely
That settles the poll.
But I would say, what's striking me is that the BJP is winning on its own steam.
Yeah.
Because, the Congress has not gained except 1.5%. So I don't think it has been responsible for the defeat of AAP in many constituencies as we thought it would be. But if the Congress had tied up with AAP, then it would have been a very interesting thing to see whether they would have gone beyond. Of course, they would have percentage-wise gone beyond the percentage of the BJP.
But Nirja, in the past also we have seen that in politics 2 + 2 is always not 4
No,
or
but
5.
in this case, this is true. But in this case, the Congress's vote bank is essentially Muslim and the Dalits. And that vote bank would have gone clearly to the Aam Aadmi Party.
The fact of the matter is this. In Haryana elections, and Ms. Shama Mohammed had certainly some very strong words against their former or at least Lok Sabha ally. The fact of the matter is that in Haryana elections, they did not come together. In Delhi elections, they didn't come together. Omar Abdullah is taking a big swipe, jibe at his own conglomerate allies, right? So, I mean, it's not the BJP's job to put them together or make them fight together. It's their own job, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so news coming
They're
in
not
now.
clear about what
News
India
coming
stands
in
for today.
that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to arrive at the new BJP headquarters, of course, the ITO one at 7:30 p.m. It's a special day for him. It's a special day for his party. And certainly the message that he will be giving to the Karyakartas, the party workers, will become important. 7:30 p.m. is when the man of the moment arrives. Nirja, a word on the Prime Minister. I mean,
it does a lot. This, to my mind, Delhi victory is even more important than Maharashtra victory.
And it is Mr. Modi's victory in so many ways,
Yeah,
right?
it shows.
Is it right or not?
Yeah, it is. I think, of course, it's equal to urban governance that people of India now want, and I think urban centers really want. But it shows that the Prime Minister's popularity has not waned. It remains.
So then Lok Sabha election results were an aberration.
Not an aberration. I think people of India wanted to give a bit of a jhatka.
jolt.
Even now, people of Delhi want to give Kejriwal a jhatka. This 400 plus and larger than life, aram se matlab ठहराव से रहो.
Amitabh, your thoughts on the same question? I would say that the enduring appeal of Mr. Narendra Modi and finally him coming out and actually pulling it off for the BJP. Because look, whatever way you look at it, BJP has tried everything in the past as well. Of course, Mr. Kejriwal stands today more dented and bruised than he was five years back. But still the heavy lifting has been done by the man himself. Would you agree with that formulation or not?
Yes, see, in this election, when Kejriwal started asking, Kejriwal versus who? And since BJP did not have a leader, Modi had to pitch in. And the fact that brand Modi had got a bit dented helped the Prime Minister. If you see,
that's not
people were writing off brand Modi after the Lok Sabha election, that it's on a decline or it has peaked, correct? And strategically, he took a step back also in Haryana and Maharashtra. But here he has taken full steam because the state unit does not have a leader, does not have an organization to take on Kejriwal. And another point which Maria was making, see, there are 3 leaders who had taken on brand Modi: Kejriwal, Mamata, Naveen Patnaik. Naveen Patnaik lost 2024 Lok Sabha election and Vidhan Sabha election. Now Kejriwal, now the battle shifts to Mamata. Otherwise, most of the battles, individual battles, now Narendra Modi has settled, except for in the southern states where BJP is on a weaker wicket.
You know, I'd just like to add one line here.
Yeah,
Certain people in Maharashtra said this to me, that after the Lok Sabha elections, they felt थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही झटका दे दिया हमने मोदी को, थोड़ा sense of guilt आ गया कि इतना नहीं चाहते थे कि majority भी नहीं आए. Now, how true this is, I don't know. But
people did have that.
And interestingly, the BJP also captured that sentiment. And senior party leaders who were involved in this entire strategy for Delhi did say that perhaps people felt that wo jhatka zyada de diya, that jolt should have been a little more careful one, moderated one. Let's bring in Mr. Ashutosh of the Aam Aadmi Party. Ashutosh, it's more or less clear that this is where it all began 10 years ago. Delhi, as we look at it, that seems to have moved away from the Aam Aadmi Party completely, and experts are of the opinion that Punjab could be next.
No, I think, of course, I would still, like, just looking at the ECI data, there are about 7 seats where the difference is less than 3,000 votes. So I think we should just still wait for an hour or so before the picture becomes crystal clear. Having said that, of course, we respect the mandate of the people of Delhi. If at the end of the day the result stays as what we are seeing, it calls for a lot of introspection, it calls for a lot of internal reflection as to what went wrong. And we'll course correct. This is still a 12-year-old political startup, one of the fastest growing startups in political parties in the country. In mere 12 years of our existence, we formed state governments in 2 states and have MLAs in more than 4 states. So, of course, we'll course correct, we'll internally reflect, but I would still urge everyone to just wait for another hour or so before the picture becomes clearer.
I must say that by the political standards of today, you are a modest man. I must say that. And you are willing to introspect, and you are willing to think about what went wrong in your party. I must say that in the political discourse that we live in this age, you are a modest man. But I must ask you one question, Mr. Ashutosh, before we go to Mr. Nalin Kohli. And that question is that, look, this is where it all began. This is where it all began for Aam Aadmi Party. And it appears, at least at this point in time, that the personal image of the AAP Supremo, Mr. Kejriwal, has at least been badly dented. He stands a bruised man today, just as many years back he did it to someone else, another stalwart, Mrs. Sheila Dikshit. Now, when it starts from the top, and when it shakes the very bedrock of, as you say, a political startup, it's never easy to regroup. And BJP politically is not Congress party. It's a formidable foe. I mean, it's not going to be ever easy now for you in the Delhi politics.
You see, the way, just looking at the way the last 2 years went for Aam Aadmi Party, right? All our prominent leaders were jailed in a case which didn't hold any grounds when it came to the Supreme Court. You look at the way the LG stood against us, the kind of ordinances that were passed, all the brute force of the LG and the centre went in stopping the works of Delhi. The investigative agencies, be it ED, CBI, you literally just look at the events of yesterday when ACB stood outside our convener's residence without even a legal notice. So when you look at the macro picture, AAP was not fighting just against the BJP, but it was also fighting against the brute force of the investigative agencies. They were fighting against the election commission. They were fighting against the money power of the BJP. They are fighting against the Godi media. Having said that, as I would say, again, we respect the mandate of people of Delhi. Let's still wait for next 1 hour or so before we get what the exact picture looks like. And we will introspect. We will definitely reflect on what went wrong. We'll definitely reflect on how do we recuperate. And don't worry, it's still a 12-year-old startup. Don't write us off. Our obituaries have been written a lot of times, and we have been able to still form government in Punjab.
Not in this manner and vein.
Able to
Yes.
still have MLAs
Not really,
in
not
Punjab.
really. Your obituary has never been written. And certainly today is a day that the party should be a little more humble. Nalin Kohli of the BJP joins us. Nalin, what we can tell our viewers now is that 10 Haryana bordering seats, BJP leads on 7, result is awaited in 1. 13 UP bordering seats, BJP leads on 8 out of 12 seats. That's a fascinating detail that is coming in. And after 6 of 13 rounds of counting, Arvind Kejriwal is trailing in New Delhi. And there are 21 border seats. BJP is currently leading on 14 of them. So Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, these are states governed by you. They are also pumping in when it comes to this Delhi victory for the BJP.
No, I think there's another way of looking at it, Maria. It is that people living on the borders can see the change on the other side. And in Delhi, they have much to complain about. Let's really look at the Aam Aadmi Party. It's nice to say of Ashutosh that, we will introspect, we are a 12-year-old startup. But let's also look at the hard facts. Mr. Kejriwal and his colleagues came on the promise of India against corruption, an alternative politics that swayed the imagination of everyone in the city and swept the election results with 67 seats. And this political startup said, we will not take a house, I will not take a car, there will be no corruption, we will ensure that the people of Delhi will get world-class facilities, the Yamuna will be clean, world-class aspirations will be met. What do we have 10 years later? We have not a single promise met. The Yamuna is more polluted. The air of Delhi is worse off. When he was blaming Punjab earlier, now Punjab is the Aam Aadmi Party government, so you are quiet. You have all the subjects, you find blame with the LG. You are in confrontation with everybody. And forget about not taking a house, you build a sheesh mahal. Forget about corruption. The entire top leadership is in jail, was in jail, denied bail for a long time because there is credible questions against them. The so-called right to information activist does not want the CAG report to be tabled in the assembly. BJP MLAs have to go to court asking for it. I mean, where are you? So when the word is used, we are a 12-year-old political startup. Yes, like a startup, they had a dream start. The investors, in this case, the voters gave them a great opportunity, a great run for 10 years. But somewhere, as in startups, the investors have pulled their hands back. As in startups, they are now demanding accountability. And all of it will point out to the Supremo and the huge gap between the narrative he builds and the zero work that happens on the ground. Now, on the other hand, we have, let's not use a startup, but we are a political ideology, an ideology that makes a promise in the form of a Sankalp Patra, an ideology that says we will serve it as a Pradhan Sevak or as a first Karyakarta. We will show you our performance and therefore we get re-elected. Therefore our states are showing that we are moving towards 2047 in a realistic manner. Can the capital of Delhi, India, the capital of Delhi, I beg your pardon, the capital of India, which is Delhi, can it afford to be an isolated, deprived, infrastructurally challenged, lack of governance model city in the middle of a evolving India towards becoming a 2047 developed country? How is it that earlier BJP, Congress, anything could work in harmony and Delhi could progress? Why is it in 10 years there's only been confrontation and excuses? So can a model of bluster continue forever? Can a model of fake promises continue forever? No. This is not about a great political startup. It is about a story gone crazily wrong.
that we will select every candidate and we will see not a tainted comes to a party that is fully tainted. And actually, if they want to introspect, they should actually reach out to everyone they threw out of the party who was part of that initial startup and ask for their views today.
Nalin, I get your views. We are looking at 45 for the BJP at the moment. Aam Aadmi Party at 25. BJP up 37. Aam Aadmi Party down 37. But an interesting statistics here. And Amitabh, come in on this. After 1993, this is for the first time that in the history of Delhi, that women voter turnout is greater than men. And 1993 was when the BJP won. And we are looking at, again, women voter coming out and voting in favor of the BJP and ensuring them a state.
Yeah, so essentially around 1% women turnout has been higher than men. And in Delhi, incidentally, has the lowest proportion of women voters across India, only 46%. So that's an important point.
Migrant city.
Yeah, migrant city, families back home. Yeah, you were mentioning about Purvanchali seats and the seats on the border, etc. If you recall 2013, BJP was the single largest party, around 32 seats they had won. Yes. At that point of time, out of the 17 Purvanchali dominated seats, they had won 10. Out of the 7 Jat influenced seats, they had won 1. All, which is that 10 bordering the Haryana. And out of the 17 Punjabi Khatri community dominated seats, they had won 7. So they, as a strategy, they tried to regain those 32 seats or go back to the tally of 32 and then build on that. See, the Aam Aadmi Party had significant lead over SC reserved seats and Muslim community dominant seats, 25% plus margin. But on the balance 50 seats, the margin is only 10%, which is within the 5% swing range. And that is where the party has focused, and it seems to have worked for the party.
And another data here, and this is about demographic dominance here, Nirja. Out of 7 overall OBC-dominated seats, which has like 30% of OBC, the BJP is currently leading on 6 seats, which is Narela, Mundka, Najafgarh, Bijwasan and others. There are 35 seats in the state with more than 15% Purvanchalis, which is East UP, Bihar and Jharkhand. And in that, 24 BJP is leading. So out of 35, 24 BJP is leading. And then there are 13 seats in the state with more than 15% Haryanvis. BJP is leading in 11 seats. Yeah. So when it is about that caste dominance, the region dominance, BJP is doing very, very well.
And the OBC...
And Nirja, you know, I have a constant quarrel with this now. Maybe it is because of the overwhelming dominance of BJP and Mr. Modi, but I have a constant quarrel with this thought. Please weigh in on this. You know, this dictum of Indians voting their caste and not casting their vote, I think that it is behind us now. It is my sense that it plays to some extent in certain parts like Bihar and Eastern Uttar Pradesh and some other. But beyond that, the country has moved, according to me, the voter has now moved beyond the caste, creed, color, you know, even in a way, the starter combinations is my sense. What do you say?
I would say, aapke muh mein ghee shakkar, if that is true. But I think in Delhi that is true. This time one found caste was not a fact. It wasn't Hindu-Muslim, it wasn't caste. I'm sure caste played some factor. Yes. But it was very much 3-4 things that weighed in with particularly the middle class, but also with others. One was, you know, people are questioning reveries, so-called reveries. And the middle class felt these reveries were given to the poor at our expense. Then this whole thing of double engine weighed in with a whole section of people. I've spoken to many who said this, that if Kejriwal comes back, even though he's doing well in terms of the kind of governance model, he will not be allowed to do what he says he will do, because he will neither have the backing of the center nor will he have the resources given to him. So it will be impediment, jhagda all the time. So let's vote for the BJP. And the third factor was people wanted change. 10 saal ho gaye, let's try for change. And I feel there wasn't an anger opinion against Kejriwal, but there was dissatisfaction or hona chahiye. Disenchantment, disaffection that had set in. And change always, you know, that it may work for us.
And I think, you know, the time has come, Maria, that, you know, we also, as a community, as a community of journalists, should move beyond this caste, color, creed, because the country, to my sense, is when you go to places, even in the most remotest places, is actually struggling to move beyond.
You see, Nikunj, this time what is exciting about the Delhi campaign, Yamuna for the first time, water in Yamuna is a central issue.
It's
now,
a
vicious,
political issue.
It is a central
What
issue.
political issue?
Pollution, poor and rich all talk about
Exactly.
it. हमारे बच्चों का क्या हो रहा है? That was a major issue for people. Of course, roads and all that. But these two issues dominated the discourse.
Yeah, I'll just go back to my reporters. I mean, very valiantly, they have been fielding since morning. As I said, the heart of an election beats there. And here, Tanushka, again from the hot seat, and Anushka there. Coming to Anushka, to you first. What's the scene like? Is the AAP cadre now finally giving in to the weight of the people's mandate? Anushka, are they finally accepting, or are there still a glimmer of hope?
No, what we are seeing here is that people were, in fact, when the initial trends started coming in, people were quite hopeful that these are just initial trends and they will be, in fact, gaining seats. But we are right now also seeing that the Aam Aadmi Party is trailing behind with BJP many seats ahead of them. I'll quickly show you some visuals from the Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Punjab Speaker Kultar Singh is inside. Several of the party leaders like Anurag Dhanda and Jasmine Shah is also sitting inside. Also, a few meters from here, there's this residence of Arvind Kejriwal. There, Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal are sitting together watching at the trends, but also we are seeing that we also saw some sporadic celebrations happening here, but right now everything has stopped, and Aam Aadmi Party, it looks like they have finally accepted the mandate of people because they are trailing very far behind. Now it looks like with the trends what are coming in, it looks like the Aam Aadmi Party is a distant second party contesting in this election, but also we are seeing people here are quite grim, and where there were sporadic celebrations, now everything is looking quite still. We are seeing the big screen here, people are looking at the numbers, but the chairs are empty. The celebrations that initially we saw here happening in the morning, everything has stopped now, but also we are seeing that inside meeting is happening. People from the Aam Aadmi Party, leaders from the Aam Aadmi Party, they are sitting inside discussing as to what went wrong, and also where there was a hope, because we saw many of the Aam Aadmi Party leaders echoing that they had to fight against a whole system and that people were still in the favor of Aam Aadmi Party. They were banking on the developmental issue, the welfare schemes, but also we are seeing on ground the Aam Aadmi Party is looking quite grim. There were sporadic celebrations, but now also we are seeing that everything has come to an abrupt stop. People have in fact now left from the main area where the celebrations were going on. I'll request my camera person to pan around and show the whole area where the screen has been set up, the stage had been set up. In the morning we saw many leaders coming here saying that they will be winning this seat. It was the toughest battle that Aam Aadmi Party had to face. Now remember, on the first term Aam Aadmi Party won with 67 seats. On the second term it was 62 seats, but right now we are seeing that the Aam Aadmi Party has just won 25 seats. Now BJP is leading with 45 seats and Congress has yet again failed to win any seats as of now, is what the trends are also showing. But also we are seeing that the Aam Aadmi Party, who was quite confident, they even rejected the exit polls predictions that came in. They said that this was just in fact being done by the BJP people to create pressure and siphon in fact the MLAs from the Aam Aadmi Party. But what the mandate is looking like, it is quite against the Aam Aadmi Party, and looks like people have decided against their rule. This was quite a tumultuous year for the Aam Aadmi Party also, with several of its leaders facing serious charges on ground. Also many people said that they wanted a change, and looks like Delhi has decided for that change, and people have once again voted for the issues that were quite existing in the Delhi constituency, several of the constituencies if we talk about that. And right now also we are showing you the visuals from Aam Aadmi Party headquarters. Mere few meters from here there is this residence of Arvind Kejriwal, where Manish Sisodia and Arvind Kejriwal are together looking at the trends that have been coming here. Many leaders have also said that these are just initial trends and picture will be clearer once a few more hours passes by. But what we are seeing is that since the morning BJP is ahead of many seats, but the Aam Aadmi Party looks like they are trailing. Leaders from Aam Aadmi Party, where we saw several of the leaders, also we tried to talk to them, but many of the leaders refused after a few hours. In the morning Jasmine Shah had said that they will be winning not with a majority of seats, but they will win with a comfortable margin. But looks like people have given the mandate against the Aam Aadmi Party. Back to studio.
Brilliant summation by a young, very spirited Anushka. Going to Tanu now. Tanu again in the midst of the hot political waters. What's going on? What's the latest? And every time I go to you, I hear those nagadas and I feel like dancing, though I'm not going to do that.
The spirits are high here, sir, as you can see behind me. Celebrations are underway as Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma from the BJP continues to take the lead on this seat, the New Delhi constituency seat here. And Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma is leading by 1,229 votes at this point. And Arvind Kejriwal is trailing from this seat. Arvind Kejriwal, the former Chief Minister, is trailing on the New Delhi constituency seat. Remember, this is a very hot contest here on this seat, wherein the Aadmi Party national convener and Parvesh Verma have had, like a very constant verbatim battle. War of words have broken out, be it with respect to voter manipulation, be it with respect to fake voters addition to the list, be it the Yamuna pollution issues. All of these issues have been raked up by both Arvind Kejriwal and Parvesh Verma in a very direct, back-to-back verbal battle between each other. And this seat, therefore, is very important, definitely key. Sandeep Dixit, also son of a former Chief Minister, is also contesting from this seat from the Congress. However, he's trailing behind both the other candidates. The visuals here are definitely that of celebration, not just because on the New Delhi seat the BJP is leading, but also on the seat of Greater Kailash, Shikha Rai candidate is also leading on this seat. And even from the RK Puram area, the BJP candidate Anil Sharma is leading on this seat. And however, what I also must bring to your notice is that the Delhi Cant area, on that seat, the Aam Aadmi Party candidate Virendra Kadyan is leading and the BJP candidate is trailing. So that is one seat wherein the Aam Aadmi Party has taken a lead over in the New Delhi constituency area. However, of course, this is the seat from where the CM face was highly anticipated. Will it be Kejriwal, Arvind Kejriwal or Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma? From the looks of it at this point, it looks like it
Tanushka, again a very all-comprehensive commentary coming out from Tanushka there, from the BJP's Chief Ministerial hopeful, Mr. Sahib Singh Verma's Mr. Sahib Singh Verma's son's latest position, Parvesh Sahib Singh Verma. Many say that he is actually the BJP's Chief Ministerial hopeful. I will go to Mr. Nalin Kohli now. Mr. Nalin Kohli, coming back to you, if you can, at this juncture when it looks like that your party has comprehensively made a very resounding comeback nearly after 3 decades, put your finger on the factors that swung it for the BJP this time. Not so much from the negative aspects of Mr. Kejriwal, but what the BJP got right.
Actually, it's a combination of both. It's a good question. There is obviously the incumbent who will be put to evaluation and examination by the voters. And that incumbent is Mr. Kejriwal and his team. I've already spoken about how it's a model of bluster, fake promises and zero delivery. A blame game and excuse on everything under the sun. That is one side. The other side is you have a model that you can compare with. Let's not forget Delhi's unique position. It is the capital of India. It is the seat of power of the central government. The central government is headed by the elected Prime Minister through Lok Sabha, which is also located here. The ministries are here. The President of India is here. The Prime Minister, all the major ministries are here. So therefore, people of Delhi see that. People of Delhi see governance at 3 levels. They see it at a national level, at a state level, and at a municipal level. All 3 simultaneously. Now in all of it, they see Prime Minister Modi's government and the vision. They see BJP governments bordering Delhi. In this case, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. They see Rajasthan, which is literally around the corner, just beyond a little bit of Haryana. So 3 governments are in close proximity to Delhi. They see the BJP model in terms of following what the central government is doing. They see the focus on development. They see the focus on delivery on the promises in terms of various assistance that has to be given to the weaker sections. They see the infrastructure change. They read about the infrastructure change because the national media is also situated in Delhi. They see the global impact of what work is being done by the central government under Prime Minister Modi. They see how the world speaks about India, and then they see how they are living in the city of Delhi and what their government, which is Mr. Kejriwal's government, is doing. I mean, it makes a fascinating comparison. It makes a nauseating comparison on a daily basis. That till when will they stop? When will they stop complaining and do their work? 3 subjects in the list are missing: land, police, and one more related to services, if I recall. The Aadmi party has to just work. For everything, they have an excuse. They have someone to blame. Neerja ji will always talk about, Neerja ji spoke about saying that, there is also the role of the LG and all. But in fairness, the LG, as the Chief Minister of Delhi, is bound by the oath of the Constitution to protect and preserve it and to ensure it runs in a proper way. How can you not put the CAG report in the assembly? And this is the great RTI activist, Mr. Kejriwal and his team. They came on RTI applications in India against corruption, and you run away from the CAG report just because it has details of the so-called Sheesh Mahal. So the people and the voters of Delhi see all this. They are an educated, informed, highly politically aware voter. And you have to compliment them for giving a very, very, very long rope to Mr. Kejriwal and his team. 10 years. In 10 years, the only question to be asked is Delhi better or worse? And the answer is not difficult to find. It's certainly not better.
Mr. Kohli, there, very comprehensive roundup of the strengths of the BJP and the follies of the Aam Aadmi Party. Thank you, Mr. Kohli. Thank you very much. As always, a pleasure to have you on air. Let me go back to Tannu. And as I said, that the hottest political contest, and as Rashid Kidwai said, the prestige battle of the Delhi elections, the New Delhi seat. Tanushka, what is the latest that you stand on? What is the latest that is coming in? Who's leading? By how many votes? And how many rounds have been completed?
Yes, sir. So right now at the New Delhi constituency seat, wherein the counting center at Gold Market is underway, we have round 9 that has been completed of vote counting, and what we have is that Verma is still leading at 19,267, whereas Arvind Kejriwal, the former Chief Minister, is trailing by 1,170 vote share. The visuals that we are showing you here is that of high spirits and celebrations here. Party workers and people have gathered already to celebrate the BJP's, win, or rather being ahead at this point in the New Delhi constituency seat. Remember that this is a very important seat here with a triangular contest between a former Chief Minister and 2 sons of former Chief Minister, Verma, son of Verma, and Sandeep Dixit, son of Sheila Dixit from the Congress. Sandeep Dixit is of course trailing behind both of these candidates, and this seat here is also important because it's come out to be, the Chief Ministerial seat. The Chief Minister would most probably be from this seat, whichever party, makes it. The lead is right now with the BJP's candidate Verma, and Verma and Arvind Kejriwal have seen quite the heated, altercations between each other during the election campaigns, during the election seasons as well, be it fake voter manipulation allegations, addition of fake voters to the list, the Yamuna politics, the water politics, the air pollution politics, all of these, even, going constantly to the election commission, both of these big faces have had it out with each other in their campaignings, and today is the culmination of all of these allegations, all of these issues and matters raised by both the parties.
looks of it, Delhi is deciding to lead with Parvesh Singh Sahib Verma on this New Delhi constituency seat.
All right, Tanushka. So the first results are in. It's 12 p.m. and hello viewers, it's Vasudha and I who are joining you. And what a day and what a morning it has been for the party which has been out of power in Delhi for the last 3 decades, 27 years to be specific. And now what a comeback for the BJP. Many saw them in the initial days as not being in context at all. And here they have pulled up a victory like no other. The first results are in, one for the BJP, one for the Aadmi party.
Well, those are the official results, Maria. Since the first election of 1951-52, Jansangh has been so entrenched in the city of Delhi. But of course, Delhi is also the city of migrants, it's the city of urban poor, it's the city of aspirations. And today, it has proved that the Delhi voter wants his work, her work to be done without any conflict, and that clearly explains the comeback of the BJP after an electoral drought of 27 years. Ghazali, my colleague, our colleague, joins us. Ghazali, tell us where are you and what is the kind of sentiment there, and how is the Aadmi party looking at the numbers now, considering that this is the biggest dent that the party could have really not hoped for?
Vasudha, I am right now outside the counting center where counting for 4 seats are being done. Kalkaji, Okhla, Kasturba Nagar and Jangpura. Jangpura and Kalkaji are the seats from where Mr. Sisodia from Jangpura and Atishi from Kalkaji are contesting elections. As far as the leads or trail is concerned, on Kalkaji seat, Atishi is trailing to BJP candidate Ramesh Vidudi. From the other seat from Mr. Sisodia, from Jangpura, Mr. Sisodia is leading right now. From Okhla, Amanatullah Khan of the AAP is also leading with a sizable margin. From Kasturba Nagar, BJP's candidate is leading with a sizable margin. So that is why what you'll see now, just a couple of hours ago, it was all quiet here, but now you'll see the BJP supporters have gathered here. AAP supporters on the other side have also gathered, and announcements are being made that it is an area which is under section 144, so no large gatherings. And despite that, you will see the supporters have gathered here, and they are also raising slogans every time they get an information from behind this, from this counting center. If a polling agent comes and updates that this many rounds are done and BJP or AAP candidate or their party's candidate is leading or trailing. So as of now, no results from here, but what we are picking up is that Kasturba Nagar, one of the assembly constituency seats, is from where BJP's candidate is leading with a very sizable margin after 6 rounds. So we'll see how it works. The Aam Aadmi party meanwhile says that this is the time when it all swings for them by 11:30 or 12:30 during the previous elections, when everybody was calling out that perhaps AAP is trailing in previous elections is what they were quoting. So now even today they say that the situation is almost the same, that it appears like that AAP is losing, but perhaps the tables will turn for them as the counting progresses through the day.
Seem to be saying that the BJP is in the clear. But Maria, Okhla and Mustafabad are 2 interesting constituencies. Clearly shows that the Muslim voter also had a rethink this time. The Aam Aadmi party is not the only choice for them.
Yes, perhaps they looked at the Congress differently, because if you look at it, the Congress party's own vote share may have gone up. It has not translated into seat. But come on this, welcome Amitabh Tiwari and Professor Sandeep Shastri. We are looking at the narrow margin seats, because now it's 12 p.m. Let's look at that data which is coming in. In roughly around 10 seats is when the vote share between the party number 1 and party number 2 is less than 1,000 votes, and that includes Jangpura and Kalkaji, the 2 high-profile seats. As far as New Delhi is concerned, it is 1,229. So clearly, Parvesh Verma is only consolidating his position. Is it really a close contest at this number, 25-45, a gap of 20?
Now, I think it's important to underscore the fact that there are 10 seats with a lead of less than 1,000.
Yes.
However, a second question would be, of these 10 seats, how many are projected as being BJP leads and how many as AAP leads?
Right.
Because that would then decide, even if there is a swing the other way, will it really dramatically alter the results? That's point number 1.
Right.
Point number 2, on the Muslim-dominated constituencies that Vasudha referred to, let's remember that in a seat where there is a significant Muslim presence, we have had two types of developments happening in the past. A minority consolidation and a majority reverse consolidation. So which of the two is happening is the question we need to raise. Mere mention of a majority presence constituency would not really help us to track the direction in which the result is going.
Okay. Amitabh, very quickly, if you look at even GK, it looks like the BJP is winning there. And GK was one constituency where the Aam Aadmi Party was very confident of Saurabh Bharadwaj. The other constituency is Sangam Vihar, which is also seen as the Aam Aadmi Party's bastion. So what explains these tough constituencies, these margins which are getting closer?
So GK again is in South Delhi, correct? So the middle class, there is a discontent amongst the middle class with Aam Aadmi Party. And if you see, when the top leaders are trailing or losing, what happens is that Delhi being a very small state, it is the leadership of the Aam Aadmi Party which was pulling the votes in favor of the local candidates. And if they themselves are trailing, which is happening with some of the key candidates, that's why we are seeing this 45-25 kind of a number. Now you said there are almost 10 seats where the victory margin or is currently less than 1,000 votes. But on 5 of them, Aam Aadmi Party is leading.
That's right.
And on 5 of them, BJP is leading. Yes. So what happens is that we tend to believe that all these 10 seats will go one way.
Right.
That normally does not happen. Those 10 seats also is likely to go in the way of the proportion of 45-25. That's how close contest works.
Yeah. But is it really a close contest here, Yashwant Deshmukh? How are you looking at these numbers as it is 12 p.m. already? I think it's more or less very clear that BJP is coming to power in Delhi after 3 decades. It's a vote for change. It's a vote against Arvind Kejriwal.
Well, one may analyze it from different ways, but the one person who is to be congratulated thoroughly for delivering it for the BJP is Nirmala Sitharaman. Nirmala Tai has finally delivered it, the Delhi to BJP, which nobody was able to do. Maria, please remember, almost 27 years back, I remember when we were doing the exit polls and post-poll operations in Delhi. At that point of time, it was the same middle class which had dumped the BJP. It dumped the BJP, and for 27 years, it was the vanvas of the BJP. It is the same middle class which has propelled them back to power. And when I say this, in the post-poll survey, when we had shown the income group variations, as the income group, the BJP's vote share kept on increasing. And please remember one thing, and which could be a blueprint for all the election analysis even in future. Middle class itself is a caste group in India now. And the value system of the middle class voters, they work the same way, be it an upper caste or OBC or the Dalit, or even for that matter, a Muslim middle class voters. In our post-poll numbers, when we were saying that, okay, BJP is making a dent even in the Muslim votes of Delhi, a lot of people were kind of making fun of it. How is it possible? Yes, I understand. 10 years back, only 1 or 2 were voting for them, and now there are 13 or 14 out of 100 voting in Delhi for them. It's not that big a jump, but it is a significant jump, and it has to be taken in, it has to be understood from the lens of the middle classes. Arvind Kejriwal's loss is also because of that, because he has carried, please remember, still right now he is sitting pretty on a 43-44% votes in Delhi, and that vote is largely coming from the low income group, the lower caste, bottom of the pyramid, where his freebie schemes were working. So that group is rock solid still. But the winning edge was gone because the middle class turned away from him. And why did the middle class turn away from him? Because majority of the middle class, number one, they said, it is no more the same Aadmi Party which they kind of helped win 2 times in a row. They were brought down from the high moral pedestal of anti-corruption crusader and everything. So the middle class actually deserted them in the last 1.5 years, 2 years, slow and steady. They understood that. And while they understood that, they, instead of bringing the middle class back, they actually focused more and more on the bottom of the pyramid with their freebie culture. They thought, okay, jo hamare paas mein hai, usko pakad ke baitho. While on the BJP side, on one hand, that the middle class was coming back, but they were really hesitant that, okay, it is also a dicey voting block. Whether or not they will go out to vote, that remains dicey. Because the turnout of the middle class has always been questionable, And I guess this is what changed with the RSS coming into play. After the last Lok Sabha election, we have seen them turn the tables in Haryana, turn the tables in Maharashtra, and now they have turned the tables in Delhi. The way they have worked on the ground to pull out that angry middle class, actually. There is one thing that, when we do surveys, we can talk to you in your home, and you say, I'm going to vote for party A or party B. It's another thing that you actually go out to vote on that party, So the surveys
here, would you say that the average Delhi voter, did the average Delhi voter also feel that she was becoming a victim of this, political play, this, flashpoint that had erupted between the center and the city-state government? Do you think Kejriwal could have performed better if he had followed a non-confrontational route with the center? Because everybody that I spoke with also said that work is not being done. Is that also one reason
but of course people remember Sheila Dikshit. See, people in Delhi, all our trackers have always remembered Sheila Dikshit. Even today, people in Delhi say she was the best ever Chief Minister Delhi ever got.
Who walked an extra mile to meet Atal Bihari Vajpayee. That is the reason, that is how she functioned.
Exactly. So this LG argument was not valid because a simple reason, even Sheila Dikshit worked under NDA government and still she delivered. So there is one very keen argument, Maria. Before this budget, imagine what was the middle class reaction to the Revdi culture. We are the taxpayers. They are getting
taken away from us.
So he's saying that Kejriwal actually got entrenched with this election results.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yashwantji, just to add to what you are saying, I would draw the example of Farooq Abdullah after the Jammu and Kashmir elections. He says, now that we have won, I want to have good relations with the center and not get into confrontation with the center. Now, in retrospect, many would argue, and maybe the Delhi voter argued, that we have a government in Delhi which is in constant conflict with the government in Delhi or with the party in power at Delhi. And possibly that was a factor, that constant tussle with the center, constant tussle with the representatives of the center was also a factor which I think, in a sense, may have led the voter to believe, let's give a chance for a better coordination between the two levels.
Along with welfare, right?
Yes.
Voters are becoming
I couldn't agree more, Sandeep. I mean, that's the fact. And also, one more thing before, Amitabh, you pitch in, I just want to make a small observation. Please remember why 15 years Sheila ji won back-to-back was because of the tremendous improvement of Delhi infrastructure. Tremendous. And Sheila Dikshit ji would not have lost in 2013 had it not been a huge anti-incumbency against UPA 2 government. The anger of UPA 2 government was exactly what cost Delhi, Sheila Dikshit ji, the way it worked out. So I think in the last 10 years, why Mr. Kejriwal delivered on the freebie and the Revdi on the lower side, that he made his vote bank, no doubt. But the Delhi's infrastructure crumbled. In our post-poll survey, the people who did not vote for Kejriwal, bigger number of chunk, almost like 40 to 50%, were just counting on garbage pile, the bad infrastructure, the water which was coming in the tap was undrinkable, the sewage problem, the sadak problem, and basically the crumbling infrastructure of Delhi. Now, that is something which got absolutely kind of diluted from the focus of governance. What got into focus of governance of Kejriwal was bottom of the pyramid and the freebies. Yes, he did deliver. Those who voted for him, by the way, Amitabh, you have seen the data. Those who voted for him, they did count the Mohalla clinic, they did count the Bijli, and so they, by the way, big number of counted even the education in the Sarkari schools. Okay. So there was a conflict. There was a huge conflict on the governance side where to focus on. While Mr. Kejriwal focused on what was delivering to him as a vote bank, I think his focus turned away completely from the infrastructure project. And in the hindsight, Amitabh, probably you remember the day MCD election results came in and we were discussing this. Right. Ye inke gale ki faas banne wala hai. Because they are not going to to able to govern the MCD the way they are promising, and this will, bleed them to death at some point of time.
Okay, we have Praveen Khandelwal, BJP MP from Chandni Chowk, also joining us on this broadcast. Amitabh and Professor Shastri, please jump into this conversation. Praveen Khandelwal, how is it looking in your constituency? आपकी constituency का total number क्या है? कितनी सीट assembly की जीती जा रही हैं?
देखिए, मेरी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी लगभग 6 सीटों पर अभी 1-2 पर तो डिक्लेरेशन भी हो गया। 6 सीटों पर हम आगे चल रहे हैं, एक सीट के ऊपर थोड़ा सा पीछे है, तो मुझे लगता है कि हम लगभग 7 सीटें मेरी लोकसभा में हम जीत पाएंगे।
राइट प्रवीण जी, मुदित अग्रवाल की और मिस्टर सैनी की भी बहुत बात हो रही थी, लेकिन ये बताइए अगर बीजेपी जीतती है तो चीफ मिनिस्टेरियल फेस कौन होगा सर? क्या कोई एमपी बना सकते हैं, और जिसका एमपी टिकट काटा गया था, जो एमएलए बन रहा है या बनते बनते रह रहा है, वो बन सकता है? कौन, किसका नाम, कौन कंटेंडर्स लिस्ट में कौन हो सकता है?
देखिए, ये निर्णय भारतीय जनता पार्टी का राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व करता है, और मैं आपको बताऊं कि हमारी पार्टी कोई एक परिवार की पार्टी नहीं है कि केवल एक परिवार का व्यक्ति ही मुख्यमंत्री बनेगा। हमारी पार्टी में बहुत सारे कार्यकर्ता हैं, और सही व्यक्ति को भाजपा का राष्ट्रीय नेतृत्व मुख्यमंत्री पद का दायित्व देगा।
प्रवीण जी, आपने ट्रेडर्स के साथ बहुत काम किया हुआ है, तो आपको पता होगा कि एक सेंटिमेंट होता है उस कम्युनिटी का, और उसके अलावा एक मिडिल क्लास कम्युनिटी का जो माहौल बदला पार्टी के लिए। आपको क्या लगता है कि जो 1 फरवरी का जो निर्मला सीतारमण जी का जो बजट आया, जो आपकी सरकार का, दिल्ली की सरकार का जो बजट आया, उसने कितना इम्पैक्ट किया इस इलेक्शन को?
देखिए, कुल मिलाकर के यदि देखें तो ये मैंडेट प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की विश्वसनीयता का मैंडेट है। दिल्ली के लोगों ने देखा कि मोदी जी की,
जी बोलिए। चलिए प्रवीण जी, वहां पे थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो रहा है लाइन पे। चलिए, वी विल गो बैक टू प्रवीण खंडेलवाल, प्लीज कंटिन्यू सर।
तो कुल मिलाकर के ये मैंडेट नरेंद्र